dry for far too long. So I'm packing up today. Goodbye, good luck, everyone. Yeah, I'm packing up today. Say goodbye and change my name. I'ma buy a one-way ticket, gonna get me out of this place. Yeah, I'm a man with no answers. Yeah, man with nothing to lose. If the devil takes my soul, then God help you. Yeah, I'm a man with no answers. Yeah, man with nothing to lose. If the devil takes my soul, then darling, may God help you. Yeah, I'm a man with no answers. Yeah, man with nothing to lose. If the devil takes my soul, then God help you. Yeah, I'm a man with no answers. Yeah, man with nothing to lose. If the devil takes my soul, then darling, may God help you.
Coming to you from the award-winning Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge, PCA's 2024 Best of Leaf Midwest Cigar Bar, Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge, it's the Final Third Podcast.
Welcome to the Final Third podcast, the A-Team edition today.
Let's go, baby.
I'm Rob,
I'm Will.
I'm Heine.
and today we're going to be smoking it's not a new cigar, but it's new to our humidor. It's the Laranja Reserva from Espinosa. This is in the Robusto Extra. I like this cigar even more than the original ones. I did love the Corona, but this one here just smokes really well, and I think it has just a little bit more body in this size. So we're going to be smoking this today, and then we're going to be drinking through a few small distilleries that we've kind of come across over the years that, we thought were worthy to at least spotlight and talk about a little bit, and maybe just talk about the process of going to a small distillery. So
yeah, absolutely, man.
yeah.
I'm excited. We've got
I
a
am
good
too.
little lineup here.
So we're going to start with this Larrikin. I'll go ahead and pour mine, and I'll let
Yeah,
you talk
sure.
about it. We had Larrikin on the show, I don't know, a couple months ago. Really great guys.
Yeah. Greg Keeley, he's the owner of Larrikin, formerly Lawrenceburg Distillery Company. It's now Larrikin Bourbon Company. And they literally are right adjacent to Wild Turkey. If you're on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, it's definitely worth a trip in. They do have a still. I think they're currently sourcing a lot of their whiskey. But I had a chance to go down and visit them last week and pick up this bottle. So this is actually, let me have that bottle again,
Yeah.
Rob. Yeah, I'll talk about it real quick. So this is their high rye, or excuse me, I'm totally wrong there. This is their high wheat rye whiskey. So this is a rye whiskey that is heavy wheat in the mash bill. So the mash bill on this is 65% rye, 35% wheat. It's aged 8 years, and it's coming in at 119 proof. So this is a single barrel.
That's pretty
Not a
unique
blend.
mash bill, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
I've never seen
And
that
then
mash before.
I give anybody $100 if they guess the state this was distilled in. Right now, $100.
State of bliss.
Yeah, that's
What state
That's actually
was
fair,
it distilled
but-
in?
Yes. What geographical United States state is it distilled in?
Montana.
Eh. Will's really in deep thought here on this.
Well,
I
you
see
can't
it.
go where
Colorado.
Colorado. Lisa?
Ohio.
Nah. You're all not even close.
it's not a state. It was D.C.
No, it's a state. It's a state. Distilled in Florida.
Really?
Yeah. I know, right?
That's interesting.
So I thought this would pair really well with this cigar. We'll see.
Well, and I didn't talk about it, but this cigar it has a Brazilian wrapper on it. I get on this wrapper, I get a kind of a citrus, kind of a zest on
I
it
was just going to
slightly,
say orange zest.
and then it's Nicaraguan binder and filler on it. But this cigar is it's a mild to medium, leans into the medium once you get into it. But I wanted to make sure I let you know about the Brazilian wrapper because I love that wrapper.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this whiskey too.
Yeah, get into it. Yeah. So a couple things too. Aaron Mullally. If you don't know Aaron was the master blender at Jay Mattingly for many years. A couple months ago, Aaron had an opportunity to go move over to Larrikin. Him and Greg have been good friends for a long time. I think so highly of Aaron and his blending skills. I think he's a phenomenal
master. Yep.
blender. He's created some wonderful things that we have on the shelf here at Final Third from
Yeah.
Jay Mattingly that are just bangers. So, shout out to him, making the move over to Larrikin. I think it's going to be really good for Larrikin. They got a really good, talented blender now. And he's going to take those guys, I think, to another level. So
That's
I'm real
awesome.
excited to see what they're going to do.
Oh, man, the
Well-
amount of citrus between both of these two.
Yeah. I say, and having Aaron on is immediately going to increase their abilities to blend, but also I think he's got an amazing palate along with that too. So he's going to be a really good asset for a kind of an up and coming company to really go out after it, and hopefully he's going to have an opportunity to grow with that company. It's probably a really good career move, I would assume, for him.
Yeah, and while I was there, they had their own line of cigars. They have a walk-in humidor in the distillery, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty
That
cool.
is awesome.
I went in, I picked up, they had a couple of their own cigars that I picked up that are kind of aged in bourbon barrels.
Okay.
And I've got them in the humidor, kind of just resting.
Yeah.
And maybe in the next podcast or two, we'll smoke them. I've got
Okay.
enough for everybody to smoke.
cool.
one. So I thought it'd be fun.
That
Little
would be
exercise
fun.
to
Do
do.
you have any idea who makes the cigars
I
for
don't,
them?
but I'm going to get those details. Yeah,
Cool.
so we have all of it for sure.
That's great.
What if it's like BBC where they have the Drew Estate stuff in there and
Could be
things like that?
I mean, Drew Estate's pretty prominent down in that area. I
Yeah.
mean, they used to do the barn smoker
I'm
down
not
there and all
sure.
that stuff.
I'm sure they bought these in bulk somewhere because there's no band on them at all.
So they could be, because there's like the
Good old
bundle
Kentucky
cigars. Well, they do the bundle cigars. There's companies that they just roll cigars, and then you got a Maduro, you got a Connecticut, you got a Habano, and every shop in different regions is going to have the exact same cigar, but that's their shop cigar.
Yeah.
And so it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, but they're usually a little bit cheaper when you do it that way too. So
let's talk about this whiskey for a minute,
Yes.
man. Like, this
love
is an interesting. It's weird, right? Like, you don't feel like it's a rye whiskey to me because the wheat is so
Okay.
high. The wheat content is so high. You get those like fruity, citrusy, like you called, Will. Like, there's definitely a lot of citrus in this.
yeah, maybe not quite to Vantage, but honestly not too far off.
It's more
On the
lemon.
nose,
It's
on
more
the nose.
lemony and not
Yeah,
orange.
yeah, there you go.
But I just think it's super tasty and it's got a nice finish.
Oh.
You kind of get that rye spice on the back end coming
It's got
through.
a beautiful mouth coating feel to it,
100%, yeah. This is an 8-year.
and it's
whiskey.
soft. I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's just soft on the tongue.
Yeah.
It's almost like having butter on your tongue. It's so soft.
the finish is nice.
It is nice, and it keeps going.
Yeah.
The rye doesn't really kick in hard until it's actually you already swallowed it and it's kind of getting past it, and then you get that spice. That's nice. You want to try it?
Absolutely.
Here you go, babe.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely the rye.
We
the
should
rye
have
kinda
just had
picks
another
up.
microphone and had her sit in with. Well, no, then we wouldn't have anybody to work.
She's like,
Never
I'm
mind.
eating, fool. I'm not.
She's got to have some whiskey with her eggs.
It's
It's your Excedrin. There you go. Yeah, Lisa took a tumble this week, and she's
It's,
hurting a little bit.
it'll be self checkout today at Final Third.
Yes, it will be. It will be. No, it won't be.
I was like, boxes on deal.
Wow, we did $3 today. That's great.
Oh wow! So let's talk about the disappointment from last night, guys. Like,
We all knew something. It was coming. As much as we all wanted to see the Pacers go up 3-1, no one would ever expect the Pacers to go up 3-1. I think these teams are still really evenly matched.
Yeah.
But OKC knew they had to win. There was no doubt they had to win. My worry now is, can the Pacers win 2 out of 3 going in now?
Well, they won the
it's gonna be
first one
tough.
there, so-
I know. It's going to
Now
be
they
tough.
have to win 2 there.
well, it felt like Freaky Friday, right? It felt like
It
there
did.
was this role reversal
Yeah.
between the
It
two
did.
teams where last night Oklahoma City basically trailed majority of the game, and then
Up until about 3 minutes into the fourth period.
Yeah, the
they
last-
were playing catch up.
and
Yeah.
then when that between 2 and 3 minutes hit, Oklahoma City just took over, and the Pacers just didn't have any answers for them.
Yeah.
They just
I think
couldn't
we're
stop.
blaming Jen because she was the one not here this time.
It's Jen's
So
fault.
she
We
got
also
to go to
didn't
the
see
game.
her sign that said, Allen, get out.
That's true.
the fourth
That's
quarter.
true. Although Allen did get out. He did
Did
walk
he?
out on the patio several times to get away.
We're right. They hit that streak too early.
Yeah. We were talking about that last night. It's like, the Pacers tend to play steady all game. And then they
And then
streak
ramp
like
it up.
hell at the end. And they just outplay the team, gets tired and whatever. This time it felt like the Pacers were streaking early.
Yeah.
And it's like I kept saying, man, it seems like that's
But they
too
maintained
early.
it, though.
Yeah, but
They
were
were able to maintain
we're
it
up by
all the way to
10,
the
we're up
end.
by 12. I'm like, oh, God, this might be too early for us.
Well, and then somebody at my house said that when they hit that 12, 15-point lead there in the
Yeah.
third, they're like, they overdid it.
Yeah.
Because now they're going to start slacking off thinking we've built a lead. And then all of a sudden, OKC came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And when the bench was in, they didn't play well.
Yeah.
I felt like the bench didn't play up to the standard that they've been playing, and they let them catch right back up, and that
Yeah.
was part of the problem. And I'm like, you got to get the guys back in. Like, you got to get
Yeah,
Halliburton
you
back
do.
in.
Well, and I'll be that guy that said I think the officiating had something to do with it. I mean,
It was terrible officiating, but they have been almost every game against them this season.
yeah.
Or this playoff season.
And then you're in the NBA Finals. Hit your damn free throws.
Oh my God! Honestly, that might have been what cost.
That
the
could have
game.
been the deciding. That would have at least tied the game if they just would have made their fourth
Yeah.
quarter free throws. It would have tied the game.
That also would have made those last 15 seconds matter because they would have actually had a chance to get the ball back and tie it back up or go and lead. But my God, 3 out of 4 free throws missed. That was terrible.
Well, you shared with me a social media post
Yeah.
just before we went live. If you look at the 3 officials and you look at the Pacers records with that crew officiating, the games they've officiated, significant losing record as opposed to Oklahoma City, which has a significant winning record.
Yeah.
So you tell me if it's not looks a little biased there. You
Well,
know?
what's the one that everyone gives crap to? The one ref that he's notorious for trying to extend series. I can't remember what his name is. I want to say Rogers, but that's not right. But apparently he's in more games that extend series than any other ref ever. And it's like that's just.
Well, I mean,
do you
I-
want that on your resume?
I-
Come on, man.
I get that, but at the same time, like my daughter was like, "Oh, I wish they would have just won and got this over with." And I was like, "Yeah, but if you think about it from the ref's standpoint, they want it to go 7 games.
Yeah, they're making
Yeah.
more money.
The NBA wants it to go 7 games.
Yep.
All the venues probably wanted to go 7 games. So
Correct.
I get it. I would have loved for a sweep or even like a 5-2, or not a 5-2, but a 4-2.
Yeah.
But everybody benefits from it going to Game 7 unless people start getting hurt, which
Yeah.
as physical as they're playing, that's a good possibility.
Very
It's a
good
real-
possibility.
The dude
Yeah.
that went up for the block last night
Oh, dude, he came right down
and
on
was
his tailbone.
head level.
Yeah.
His waist was head level with the 7-foot guy he was defending and came down on his hip
Yeah.
from that high.
He's
That
feeling
was
that today
nuts.
for sure.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
he didn't just lay there and say, "Okay, I'm now retired.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
feel my
well,
legs, Lieutenant Dan."
And Halliburton with those follow through layups and then landing on his back and on
Yeah.
his side way behind the basket. And it's just like, man, they take a beating.
Oh,
They
the poor
really take a
OKC
beating,
dude that
you know?
rolled both of his ankles on that one layup attempt. He rolled
Yeah.
one. He clipped the shoe of one of our guys going in for a layup with his plant foot and rolled that ankle and then went to go rebound and catch with the other foot and rolled that ankle and just flopped. And I was like, yeah, I would have too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Wow, man. So,
So,
anyway,
yeah.
we'll have big game 5.
Yep, game
Yep.
5 on Monday.
Monday,
8:30.
Yeah.
We're going to open up on Monday at 6 o'clock.
Oh, cool.
So we'll be open for the game. So if you guys want to come out and we had a pretty packed house watching the game last night. At least the
Very
first half. A lot of people left at halftime. I'm like, man, this is a good game. But it's
well,
okay.
that's who we get to blame then. Everybody that left at halftime.
Well, it was one of those things too where halftime hits at what 9:45 or something like that. It's like people were ready to go home.
It was packed. There was a surge, I'd say, right around 8:15,
Yeah.
where everyone just filed in. Had a bunch of young guys in here.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun to see a bunch of younger guys getting in cigars and
Yep.
kind of trying different cocktails.
It really
different
was.
pours.
Even the patio was kind of popping last night a little bit too.
Had
So
a lot of good conversations with people I had never met before.
Yeah,
so
that's
that was
cool.
a lot of fun. It's always something cool. And
That is
you know,
awesome.
hey, we get a rare treat Monday with Final Third being open.
that's right.
That's
We're
a
ready.
gift.
Yes. I'm ready. I'm ready.
At least it's like
I'm ready. Well, okay. So I will tell you right now, there's a reason behind this. Yes, we would be open anyway for the Pacers, but we don't have cable at home. We're never home, so we don't even have cable at home. So we're going to be here watching it anyway. Might as
Yeah,
well
be here anyway.
share it with friends,
Yeah.
Might
right?
as well, yeah, absolutely. That makes great sense. So
Yep.
tell me,
Don't tell our secrets.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's
a
open to
secret for
loyalty
sure.
members only. So if you don't have a loyalty account with them, they won't let you in the door.
Or sign up and be here and sign up. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So, can you explain to me again, like what makes this orange kind of zesty note?
I have
on
no
this
idea.
cigar?
Brazilian tobacco does that for me every time.
Really?
Well, I shouldn't say every time. Most of the time.
Okay.
I know there's a Brazilian Kruber wrapper which is just a Maduro. It goes on the Unkind. If you remember the purple banded
Yep.
Unkind, that one has a Kruber wrapper, which is a darker wrapper. It doesn't have it, but the ones that are more like a Habano shade on them tend to have that orange zest on them, and I don't know what does it.
So
but
it's like
great.
Kopi Luwak. The monkeys eat the leaves and then
Spit out the seeds.
Yeah,
Or
you know.
I'm sorry, crap out the seeds.
I was about to hit the button.
But I do think it kind of flirts back and forth between some earthiness.
It does.
And some toasted wood notes, kind of.
I get a cedar in this
There
a
you
lot.
go.
Cedar and that orange zest. I definitely get like an unsweet graham cracker kind of thing going in it a little bit too. It's just it's definitely not a cigar that you finish your night after having a couple other cigars. It's a little bit milder. It might not hold up to if you smoked a knuckle sandwich or something.
I feel like it's a great pairing cigar.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's not one that you just run out to the, sit outside and just smoke by itself and relax.
Yep.
I mean, you can, but I feel like it's almost crafted to pair with something.
Yep. This one is actually the one that if someone says, "Oh, I'm gonna have an IPA," or I'm gonna have a beer," I always give
I
them
can
this
see that
one
with hops.
because that little bit of
zest
citrus
and
kind of.
yeah.
Well, you smoked this with the Kush before.
Yeah.
And it actually works with a beer. Not very many cigars work well as a pairing with a beer. And this is probably the only cigar I've ever smoked with a sour that worked. So they did something special with it. And I've heard rumor that this is actually Eric Espinosa's favorite cigar he makes.
So I would say
It's a high standard.
So it must be good.
I think it pairs great with this whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you're looking for a pairing with this, I would look for a citrus forward whiskey.
Yeah.
I'd look at the J. Mattingly Indiana small batch select, the light whiskey we have, the lemon meringue.
Lemon
pie
meringue would
Lemon
go
meringue.
great.
The barrel Vantage would
Vantage.
work well.
Yep.
Anything, any other citrus forward, even a Heaven's Door would work well with this.
I
think.
even think some rye would go well with this.
Sure,
That
yeah.
spice, kind of a balance of spice and citrus, I think would go nice. On the whiskey side, I don't think really many whiskeys wouldn't go well. I think maybe something like the Maverick, with the extra port in it, might overshadow the citrus a
Yeah.
little bit more. But overall, I think just a straight whiskey would be great with this.
I agree.
And we'll get into the second one here in a second, too.
Cool. Yeah, it's really good. So what else we got going on, guys?
It's a little early, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about the upcoming events so we can get that in here. So we are open tomorrow, Father's Day, because fathers don't get days off. Moms do, dads don't. At least that's not even looking at me.
I was waiting for the.
She didn't hear it.
Hey, at least I'm not home cooking for myself that day on the grill. I mean, that's great. Okay, and then June 21st, we have music in the Cigarden, Dave Ellison. It's going to be awesome. We got the new sign out there. If you haven't been in here, you have to come out and see the new sign. Thank you to our good buddy Jeremy Dobbs. He makes
Shout out.
He made that thing, and
Shout out,
it's
Jeremy.
absolutely amazing. It's got lights on the back. It's got a strobe to the music, so we're going to kick that on. Dave's going to be out there playing with the strobe behind him. It's going to be awesome. We'll have it in the background of the podcast.
I was going to try and get a picture of it and post it, but I
I
don't know how to do all
once
that.
the weather's not 95% humidity outside, we'll go out there and do that again. July 17th, Blazer 88 bike night. Every motorcycle's welcome. So if you have a bike and you want to come out and join a bunch of other guys that are riding bikes out here, come out that day. That's going to be a great time. If you've ever been in here and you've seen, Kevin Morgan and Josh Ward and all the boys, that's their group that they do that with, and it's a great cause too. July 26th, we have music again on the Cigarden. It's going to be jazz by Mace Chopin. Is it Chopin or Chopin? I think it's Chopin. But he actually is the one that we talked about before. He was at the Fuel game, and that was the first thing he ever did in public like that, other than like school stuff, and he crushed it. And
He played the national anthem on saxophone.
On saxophone. It was awesome. Lisa went down, hunted him down out there, and he's like, I've never really played out in public much. And she's like, well, would you like to? He's like, sure. And we thought the kid was like 17 years old. No, he was like 22, 23 or something like that. So he had graduated already and stuff.
Okay.
So he came out here.
Can he come inside?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. But then he actually came out here and did it once and crushed it. So we're going to have him back out again, and he'll be outside doing it this time July 26th. And then music again on August the 16th. We got the Naptown Hepcats out here.
Oh, yeah.
So
Should be a fun
those
one.
boys are awesome. They're high energy. So when you definitely want to come out and listen to a little bit of rockabilly on that night. So
Yeah.
those are the music events we got coming up, and I'm working on a few cigar related events and hopefully some tastings here coming up here soon too.
Yeah, that's great. Hopefully, we'll see some of these Espinosa releases hit in the next month or two.
We
And-
better because the Warhead Independence Day Independence Day is coming up quick.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try is it the Knuckle Sandwich Puro?
The Puro.
Puro.
That's a good cigar. I've actually got to try it already.
I'm really
It's
looking
really
forward
good.
to trying that. I'm a
Yep.
Knuckle Sandwich fan.
So yeah, we got the Knuckle Sandwich Puro coming. We've got the 4 different Warheads coming. The Warhead 11's the new release. The Warhead 1 and 6 are re-releases, and then the Warhead Independence Day. They're going to be super limited release or availability. So when you see us post about it, get out here and get them because they're not going to last for more than a few days.
And shout out to the members that get first dibs.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Members
So if
get first
if you have questions about that, hit us up and we'll let you know why members get first dibs.
Yeah. But members will be the first to know, man.
Yes, they
So,
will. Yep.
be excited.
So cool.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
a
all the
great
events we
events.
got right now, but again, there'll be more coming.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I think I'm ready to try number 2
Hmm.
here. So what do we got, Rob?
Okay, so this one is a small distillery over in Ohio. I mean, like micro small. It's called Indian Creek Distillery. This is their American Bondhouse Bourbon, 120 proof. Yeah, there's not much more to say about it. I don't know what the exact age is on it. They say everything they release is between 5 and 9 years old. So I'm not sure if this one actually has it on the bottle, but I can't read real well.
I think
so
it's on the back. Looks like it says 8.
does it say 8? Yeah, it just says batch.
Oh.
Year 25 is when they bottled it. So, so this is actually 95% corn, 5% malted barley. These guys have been distilling. They started distilling 100 years before Prohibition, and they're still using the same 2 small pot stills that they used when their great whatever grandpa started doing this. It's not to me. It wasn't a whiskey that like blew me away, but it was shocking that it was as good as it was for what they were doing. I'm just anxious to see what you think, and me getting back into it because I'd gone off of a day of having a lot of bourbon that day, so I'm anxious to get
I
back
mean, the
into
color.
it.
You look at the color first,
Yeah.
and it's very appealing.
Beautiful, yeah.
Nice dark amber color.
It's got a great nose too.
Yeah, beautiful. I like the packaging.
I do
was just-
too.
That's what
I
I was
do
going to
too.
point out is how much I like the label and the bottle.
Yeah.
It's got a nostalgic look to
And
it.
it's a cool little spot. If you get over there, they do music out there quite a bit. They don't distribute any whiskey. You're not going to find this at a liquor store. They just make enough basically to sell at their tasting room. Cool little spot though, and it's literally just not too far across the Ohio line, but north of 70. Gosh, what's the name of that town that they're in? It's close to Tip City. Gosh, I
Well,
should
we're
have had
getting
this.
close to Tipsy, so
Tip City. I can't. Carlisle. I think it was it's between Tip City and Carlisle, whatever that little town is in between them. But it's right there. You're going to drive a little ways to get off the interstate, but it's a pretty cool little spot and really nice people.
So you said the stills they use are really small, right?
Yes,
Like,
super
yeah.
small. Like 2 of the smallest pot stills I've ever seen, other than like personal ones people use at home.
this almost has like a warm baked roll kind of
Yeah.
like nose to it.
Yeah.
I was
Like a
going to
sweet
say
roll.
like some sort of like toasted bread, like yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and I'm not getting, I mean, I am getting corn, but I'm not getting as much corn as I would expect out of a 95 corn.
I get a little bit on the palate. I do
On
get
the
the
palate.
more of the corn on the palate,
I like the flavor of it.
but it's rich. It's mouth coating.
Oh yeah,
It's, and the
Oh, you
finish
just
is
look at the
long.
glass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very
It's just
viscous.
running down the glass.
Yep.
It's got this kind of a caramel, but like not a like a warm caramel, like
Yeah.
on a Sunday kind
Yeah.
of caramel note.
Yeah.
You know?
I really like it. I think it's really good, especially for a distillery. I literally was driving back from Columbus and I hit my GPS and said distilleries. And this popped up. I'm like, oh, never heard of it. Let's try it. I pulled in 15 minutes before they closed, and she went through the whole tour with me and stuff.
That,
It was
that
great.
finish almost has like a sea salt caramel kind of.
That
Ooh, good
linger at
call.
the end.
Good call.
there's a brininess to this.
Yeah.
There's also kind of like a little bit to me on the finish is I get a little bit of spearmint. Like
I do too. There
Yeah.
is a mint in there that I couldn't figure out, but
Yeah.
you're right. It's spearmint. Yeah. And I'm not usually a mint guy, but I don't mind it in this. It's just very subtle.
Kind of shows itself right at the end. you
Yeah.
know? That's
Here,
a
Lisa,
good,
you want to try some of this one
it's a
too?
good pot still whiskey, man.
It is.
Come get hammered with us, Lisa.
Lisa's trying to. This is her medicine for her fall. You can have some of mine because I poured a little too much.
So you were just
Yeah.
fumbling around Ohio and ran into this place.
So I
huh?
went over.
Yeah.
I just had a day to not do anything. I went over to High Bank over in Columbus,
Columbus,
which love
yep.
those guys. They're coming into the state now,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we'll be having
anytime.
those here soon.
Yeah.
But I love High Bank. Their restaurants are awesome at each one of their locations. I went to the newer location, and I can't remember the name of the little town, but it's a suburb of Columbus still. But I went there and met Jeremy from McAuliffe and his wife. We hung out and had a bunch of drinks and food, and then I ended up hitting on the way back Indian Creek, and I wasn't disappointed. It was fun.
Yeah, the Indiana Small Batch crew will be heading out to High Bank on Wednesday
Oh, cool.
to get to meet the guys, learn about the brand, learn about all their offerings.
Cool.
kinda
If you
educate
need a tag along, let me know.
everybody. Yeah,
I've met a few of them already. They're really nice people. But I mean, honestly, I can't wait to see it come in the state and see what happens, because I think people are going to be amazed at how good a whiskey is that they never heard of. Because most people in Indiana have never heard of High Bank, unless we've talked about it. Because I think we talk about it all the time. So I'm excited to get them in here. It's kind of like Whiskey Acres. No one around here knew about it, but now people are starting to learn about it. I think it's going to be a great addition to your portfolio.
right, yeah. So last week you guys had Mash Bash, and I didn't make it. Becky and I were actually in Kentucky. We had planned a trip to go down there, so we spent some time tooling around. We started out at Rabbit Hole, which,
Oh, nice.
if you haven't been to Rabbit Hole in Nulu, I highly recommend it.
I never
Very
have.
modern distillery, beautiful rooftop bar that overlooks all of Louisville.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool. And then from there, we went to Jim Beam, and we had lunch at the Jim Beam restaurant. Delicious restaurant. I saw the most hellacious thunderstorm while we were there, blasted through.
Oh, wow.
The staff at the restaurant were literally holding the outside doors shut because they were blowing open and water was pouring in. But just in time for the tour, the rain stopped and we went on a tour there. That was a lot of fun. Becky had not toured Jim Beam before, so wanted to take her on it and see some of the history. And that was really, really a huge. I mean,
That's a good way to get your steps in for the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's a
I could
big
lay
place.
down sideways inside of their column still. It's that big.
Wow.
It's like 6 feet in diameter.
Whoa.
It's
Wow.
amazing.
It's a beautiful plantation. We went there a few years ago. I don't remember them having a restaurant yet. Is it fairly new, the restaurant? Or did we just not get far enough back?
Probably didn't make it. I don't know. I think it's been there for a few years.
Okay.
At least, yeah.
It's been probably 5-6 years ago since we went, but and I'm not a huge Jim Beam fan. There's a few offerings, obviously the books and all those are great, but I'm not a huge Knob Creek fan. There's
Yeah.
a few that are pretty good, but
Yeah.
across the board, not really as much. But the facility itself is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I actually like Knob Creek. I'm a fan of definitely of Knob Creek just because I love that chocolatey peanut note.
I
you get
probably
on it.
need to get back into
Yeah,
it
but
because it's been forever for me.
So we got to pick a single barrel of Knob Creek that was there and got to bottle it ourselves and stamp our fingerprints on the wax, which was kind of cool.
Nice.
Oh, that's a neat idea.
Yeah. We Becky and I both did one, and I tried Old Granddad's 16-year again. I respect everyone's reviews that love it, but I just can't get it.
Yeah.
It's really aggressive and it's just not my jam, man.
I still haven't tried it. I probably need to try it at some point.
It's and for $200 a bottle in the gift shop,
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
You better love it for that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so we
Let
left
me
there.
disappoint you.
Yeah, exactly. So, next day, day 2, we went to Bardstown Bourbon Company, 9 a.m. tour. Folks, I don't recommend 9 a.m. tours anymore. When you start they literally start you with a flight at 9 a.m.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's go. So we had a great tour. They were down. So the stills being, it was not down for maintenance, just down for cleaning. So all the fermentation tanks were empty. So I was I thought it was like, oh, I'm going to be disappointed. You're not going to be able to see the mash fermenting. But the cool thing about that is you don't realize how deep those fermentation tanks are until you see one completely empty. And then you realize,
hello.
they are deep. And
Wow.
you don't realize the cooling coils that are in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I mean, massive amounts of cooling coils are sitting in the bottom to regulate the fermentation temperature.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you've got to have it just right, or you'll under ferment, or you'll kill off the yeast if you get the temperature out of whack. So that was pretty cool to see that. Had a great skipped out of there, shot over to Heaven Hill just to see if we see anything in the gift shop that might be worthwhile. As soon as we walk in, one of the store clerks is putting out the little hand grenade bottles.
Oh, nice.
So Beck and I got one of those. That was a
Cool.
lot of fun.
I wanted to get one of those, but they didn't have one of those there last time.
Yeah, they weren't there when we were there either.
So, the funny thing was, so they're doing tours there, right? So
Yeah.
they've got tasting tours going on, Mint Julep and some other people. This tour guide comes out. He sees the hand grenades and literally starts going bonkers and starts grabbing all his people. He's like, oh my God, these go for $200 on secondary. You've got to get that immediately. And I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah,
what are
come
you
on,
doing?
dude.
So sure enough, as soon as
Everybody.
he started all that hoopla, it started going bananas. And I'm like,
Jeez.
dude, come on.
Yeah.
Like, let these things.
Well, it's a
just
good
kinda-
sales tactic, but it's
Yeah.
bad for
Yeah.
the industry.
Well, you're right though. That's something I've not seen at a distillery. Them talk about it's
Secondary.
going for secondary. It's like for the longest time that was a dirty word in a distillery.
I'm sure Heaven Hill loved that. And
yeah,
anyway, the guy was a little bonkers, but we left there, went back to Barstown Bourbon Company and had lunch. And if you've not eaten at Barstown Bourbon Company,
so
Do it.
good.
gosh,
It doesn't matter what you get.
Yeah.
everything is so good. And the cocktails they make are, world-class cocktails.
Yes,
Mixologists.
I had I think I had their
Bardstown
old fashioned.
Cube.
It was so good. Oh, the Bardstown Cube. Yeah.
They're great. They have some.
It's a beautiful place too.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing I'm disappointed in that place is their merch area is tiny.
It's a little small.
It's a small
And then they
room,
have
yeah.
like 5 shirts and they're like $150 a piece. I'm like, what the heck?
There's
just
like a
happened
T-shirt,
here?
a polo, a sweatshirt, a
then
woman's
like a
shirt, and
zip
something
up.
else, and that's almost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you compare the two, the Heaven Hill gift shop is
Heaven Hill gift shop's one of the
really
best.
good.
Yeah.
At least one of the best I've been to.
Because everything they have in there, whether you're getting like a Bloody Mary mix or a hot sauce or a barbecue sauce, at Heaven Hill, they're all good.
Yes, they
All
are.
good.
Yep. I brought Lisa back a lavender, like lavender simple syrup for her to play around with because she loves the flavor of lavender and she's liking to make some of those lighter drinks. So I brought that back for her. I don't know if she's played around with it yet
It's
or
a
not.
sleepy
but-
time cocktail
And-
right there.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about Heaven Hill now is if you go into the gift shop, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is on the shelf now. Larceny Barrel Proof is on the shelf
Yep.
now.
Yep.
Henry McKenna 10
10
is on the shelf now.
shelf
That's
staple.
what I
yeah.
bought. Every time I've been
Greg
there,
the
that's all I
Glass
bought
is
is
on
that.
the shelf now. So
Yep.
I'm like,
about
we're
time.
kind of getting back to some normalcy
Yep.
again.
Yep.
You know? Like,
I mean, you're still going to have the same boat with the new Heaven Hill Heritage Edition, whatever coming out. It's going to be hard
Yeah.
to get. You're not going to see that very often. Or the William Heaven Hill
right, or the Old
green
Fitz
labels.
Decanter series. you know?
Exactly.
But
But they're putting those out not to be sold at the distributor there. They're selling it out to get it to bars and places. So
well, a friend of mine posted this morning. He's like, "Yeah, I waited 3 hours in line at Heaven Hill last week to get a Old Fitz 7-year." And I walked
you
into
can put it on the
Costco this
shelf.
morning,
Yeah.
and there's a shelf full of them.
yeah, that's the thing too. Is like we've had a lot of people trying to. We've got the Old Fit, and I'll talk about what we got on the bar too. But we got the Old Fitz 7-year in stock now, the bottle and bond. It's really good. It's really really good. But it should be in that $60 price range.
Yeah.
That's going to be a shelf staple. That first release has already been released. I think they're starting to get to that second release finally, to where all the allocated stuff is going to be going away, and you're going to
Yeah.
find this at stores. I mean, it's going to be just like the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond. When that came out, it was impossible to get. And
Exactly.
within 6 months, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
So you're going to have the same boat, and you're going to finally be able to get Old Fits on a daily basis.
And if
So-
you're at Heaven Hill, don't sleep on the Elijah Craig matches.
I try to get
amazing.
them. I try to get them all the time.
If you love the wood,
They're
wooden
the
match,
the long ones, great for cigars.
they don't
Yep.
have a sulfur taste. They
Nope.
burn really long, and it's the best I hate to say it's the best matchstick I've found, but if you like
Kinda is.
lighting it with a wooden match,
Yep.
that's the way to go. They're just phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll wrap this whole weekend up real quick. But then later that day, after a much-needed power nap, we headed to Lawrenceburg. Obviously, I talked about going to Larrikin. Got to hang out with Aaron for a little while and catch up with him and taste through some stuff there. And then we went on to Wild Turkey. Never toured Wild Turkey. I was so stoked to go in. We did a Rick House tour. We did a Russell's tasting. Ended up with Russell's 13 and a Wild Turkey Masters Keep Voyage, the rum finish.
Oh,
Which
nice.
was phenomenal. And just the history, the age. It was this, Rick House is built in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And being able to just learn all about the history. And then the highlight was obviously Jimmy Russell.
Yeah.
Being there, signing bottles, got to meet him, take a photo with him, talk to him, and just wonderful people.
That's something I've been told, and I've not been to Wild Turkey. I want to go there, but I've been told that Jimmy's there all the time. So if you want to meet a giant in the industry, there's a good chance he's going to be there when you visit. So I mean, he's somebody that everyone respects. I mean, hell, Jim Beam put out Jimmy's batch last year in Booker's just to honor him. And it's like these guys love each other, and he's an awesome guy.
And
so
this is his life.
It
You have
is.
to understand, he graduated high school and went to work in the distillery and rose the ranks to become the master distiller. And he's the longest living and the oldest master distiller, not only for bourbon, not only in the U.S., but in the world for
Wow.
any distilled spirit. He's been doing it longer than anyone.
that's amazing.
I mean,
and he's still involved with the process.
he's still
there.
involved with
Yeah.
it. I don't think as much. I think obviously Eddie and Bruce are now taking
Yeah.
the reins on that. Eddie probably
Well,
does
he's what?
the most
He's in his
stuff.
80s now, right?
Oh, no,
Jimmy?
he's in his 90s.
90s,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I mean,
okay.
he's been a master distiller for over 70 years.
Wow, that's
So,
amazing.
Yeah. So just
So get down there and meet him before he's
Yeah.
gone, because once he's gone, that's just a wealth of knowledge we've lost.
he's a living legend.
Yep.
And got to tour his office, got to see his replica still that they made for his induction into the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of
Hall of
Fame. Got to see a replica of the entire distillery with the two twin column stills that Pernod Ricard gifted him.
Oh wow!
When they were with Pernod Ricard. And so it's just a lot of history. So glad I got to go and
That is
see
cool.
that place. So.
That's some place I want to go. If we ever want to make a fun little trip and hit some things on the bourbon trail, I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to hit that one up.
It's like
We
one
haven't
of those.
done that yet. We need to do that
No.
as a crew.
Yeah, that we might need a shuttle bus for that because I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I
um,
recommend
It might be
that.
cheaper just to buy one for $3,000 on Facebook Marketplace. Just
I've
destroy
been-
it. I know you have.
I've got them all saved in my.
I know you do.
But that's one of those guys that's been in it so long. You can honestly say that this guy's probably forgotten more about bourbon than I'll
Yeah.
ever know,
Yeah.
and it'd be accurate.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, he's so funny. He'll say, people say that, they taste cherry and nutmeg and cinnamon in my bourbon. He said, I don't put any of that shit in there.
Nope. I just make good whiskey.
Exactly.
All
Well,
right,
I
so
feel
let's
like-
get into our. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I feel like a lot of people get stuck into that. That's why a lot of times, like when we talk about flavor notes, we don't list, vanilla, cherry, nutmeg. We say, oh, like I just said with the sweet baked roll, something specific instead of just because I feel like a lot of people just look for a specific note and then highlight it and talk about it, and then they don't elaborate.
Yeah.
So as soon as they pick out cherry, that's all they talk about. Oh yeah, I get a lot of
Exactly.
cherry out of
Lot of
this,
cherry,
and then
yep,
that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one we're going to, this is a company it's a distillery called Crowded Barrel. And if you've ever been on YouTube going down the whiskey trail or whiskey rabbit hole, you've probably seen the Whiskey Tribe or the Whiskey Vault. You got Rex and Daniel that do that, and I think they've kind of backed that off a little bit. But these guys have been reviewing whiskey forever. They have a training school where they train whiskey sommeliers. They call it the Wizard Academy, and that place is beautiful. We went down with Alan Hill and went to their Bastards Ball, and this is literally just a bunch of distilleries, mostly Texas distilleries, that come in there and you do tastings with all these distilleries. And these guys actually are the first and only crowdsourced distillery in the world.
Oh, wow.
So that came from their YouTube following. But this is actually one they won the Texas Whiskey Festival Award. It's Blend 5. It's 100, I can't hardly read it, but I think it's 122 proof or something like that. But they won awards for this one multiple times. So I brought a bottle back when I got back and almost forgot about it. I'm like, hell, let's try this one on the show. But talk about another small distillery. They have a very, very, very small still, at least at the time they did. They were looking to expand. But the thing that I'm most impressed with this place is their school. They have this tower, and it literally is like a wizard tower. And you walk up the stairs, the round stairs around the building, and then you get to the magic room that has all these freaking bottles that people have given them to review.
Oh, wow.
Thousands and thousands, shelves as high as you can see all the way around you. I've got a picture. I'll have to have Mike post it. But it's a beautiful room. It's got whiskey from everywhere in the world. Every whiskey you've ever seen in Indiana is on their shelf. It's really cool. But they also have one stage down from their recording room is where their classroom is. So you can go down there and then you stay on site for the entire week. You learn, and then you become a whiskey sommelier. And then every time after you have that training, every time you go back there, you can go into the magic room and taste something. You can do whatever you want to. So it's something I would love to do. I would love to go down there and do it, and I love those guys anyway. So I'm anxious to see what this whiskey's.
Yeah, this one comes in at 128.6.
Oh, 128.6. Okay.
Ooh, it doesn't smell it.
No, but it does have that kind of Texas whiskey depth to it. And by Texas whiskey, mainly it's probably made in its traditional bourbon way, but
It says
the heat in
it's,
Texas.
Yeah, it says a blend of 50% Modisette and Sons malt, 30% Acre Distilling malt, and 20% Gulf Coast rye.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting.
It's just so small, I can't read it. So
Yeah, I know. I was
my
struggling
glasses
to
are
read that.
terrible. But I like these guys.
Oh, definitely malty.
Very malty.
Very
Yep.
malty
Yep.
on the nose.
It's got kind of a funky. There's a funk in the finish. I can't actually. It might be just the way the malt has actually transformed in the heat of Texas.
I wonder if it's the Gulf Coast rye that
It could be.
gives that weird finish.
Could be. I'm not
I
sure.
mean, not
what
weird like in a bad way. It's just
no,
unique.
it's unique and kind of funky.
I wouldn't say I get a lot of chocolate.
Okay, this is a terrible note, but it just hit me. Dish soap.
Oh,
Cilantro? What the?
No, I'm getting a dish soap on the very end. It could be the combination of the cigar or whatever, but
I wonder if that's your lemon pledge with your,
could be.
your orange fabuloso.
it's more like a caramel malt, and then it gets very sweet on the finish.
Yeah. As it sits on your tongue, do you get that kind of little bit of a funk I'm talking about? Okay. Unique, totally different. I mean, all three of these so far have been totally different from each other.
Oh yeah.
So, again, Texas whiskey, it's not my go-to, right? Because I feel like Texas whiskey, they all compete with seeing who can punch you hardest in the mouth.
They do.
Yeah.
And this is again
It's a
this
punch.
is a puncher, man.
Yeah.
This is something you need a really, I'd say, strong Maduro.
Yeah.
With a bunch of bold flavors.
I think you're right.
I think
to-
the Killer
to
Bee would have
match it.
gone better with
we
this.
probably
than
should have
this.
waited for that one, but
Maybe a
I'm having a hard time
Fumanoche.
getting through this cigar. It may be all 2 hours for this one cigar. Damn. The one thing is, I think the two distilleries I'm most impressed in Texas
Texas.
about are Still Austin and Garrison Brothers. I love a lot of the releases of both of them. Garrison Brothers for me
So I'm
is
a
going
fan
to
of
be
Garrison
more.
Brothers.
They're darker, they're richer, they're thick, but they're also way pricier. Still Austin, you can get those bottles for $70 or
Yeah.
whatever, And Nancy Fraley does a lot of their picks still, I think. I'm not sure if she still does, but I'm sure she does.
I feel like still Austin, generally speaking, not for every whiskey they make, a little more refined than
They are.
Garrison Brothers.
Yeah.
But then
They're going for the masses. Garrison Brothers going for the
Garrison Brothers
The
prides themselves
5%.
on being authentic, true, the first to market Texas whiskey, and it's bold, it's oaky, it's tannicky, it's got strength, but it's campfire whiskey, man. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sitting around a campfire on a starry night with a good strong cigar.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say strong cigar, but a Maduro, a Mexican San Andreas cigar, something like that would really hold up with it.
Somebody
Yeah.
playing harmonica in the background.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look,
Wait, you were at Garrison Brothers
yeah,
recently.
that's where I took my Master of Bourbon
That's
exam.
what I thought.
And got to hung out.
Hung
got
out?
to hung out.
Got to hung out,
I
baby.
hung out with
That's
them
your South
Texan
Carolina
boys.
dog coming out.
I was hanging out with Dan Garrison. No, man, super, very nice gentleman, Dan Garrison. Passionate about his brand. Has a good group of people working there. Beautiful grounds. They get a ton of activity there. They're busy.
Lisa,
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And,
Lisa,
enjoyed-
come drink more.
come drink more.
enjoyed
her lubed up
his
here.
hospitality, for that week.
So more, so less.
Yeah.
If you're ever in the Texas hills,
Yeah, I've
You
never
wanna
been
go- you
to
wanna go
Garrison
out there.
Brothers. I did when I was down there. I went to Crowder Barrel, and then we went to Still Austin because they're there in Austin as well. Actually, Austin's kind of a sneaky little fun city. There's a lot of stuff. That's
Yeah.
where Joe was it Joe Rogan?
Yeah, the comedy
has
mothership.
a comedy
and everything.
mothership there, and it is a little
Yes.
bit more on the
Lisa approves.
left wing side, a little bit more on their politics. But they have a
It's
lot
a
of really-
surprisingly liberal city.
It
in the
is.
middle of a very,
Very
not liberal
yeah.
area.
Yeah, and I would
But-
say some people are, in the state at least, are against that. But I mean, there's great food there. There's great things to do. There's some great barbecue joints there.
It's been voted recently, other than now, the comedy mecca because of Joe Rogan,
Rogan,
and everybody
yep,
else that's there
yep.
now too. A lot of people have moved there.
Well, we went to a liquor store there, and it's like a Total Wine. I can't remember what it was called. I'm sure Texas people know exactly which one I'm talking about, but they it's a big box store, but they had everything. I mean, everything you think of, and I could only bring back 6 bottles in my carry-on, but I bought 6 bottles to do that, and they had all the crazy releases of the fun Still Austin stuff and Garrison Brothers, but then they had like some of the BTAC stuff, and it was kind of crazy that the availability there. But I think that also says something about Texas. Texas aren't just the people in Texas aren't just chasing bottles for bottles. They're chasing good whiskey, and they already have good whiskey there. So why chase elsewhere? So it's kind of cool.
they have you can find Weller on the shelves like by the cases. there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, they've been voted best food, best live music venues, all kinds of stuff.
A lot of music. Yeah.
The more I taste this, the more I love it. Like it's
I'm with
really
you.
coming through. Like there's some rich caramel notes that pop, and the malt kind of goes away, and I get this rich finish. Still sweet, but I'm digging it, man.
Yeah, I don't know what that soap thing came out a minute ago on that one because I'm not tasting it
I'm
at all
not,
now.
I'm not getting it. Yeah, I'm not getting a soapy.
The
cilantro
flavor
note.
with the cigar wasn't that great, but then you retro, and it opens the finish on this up a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, it's
And
got.
I didn't catch that at first.
This one's got again another really soft feel in the palate, but it builds in it's almost like a strong cigar that builds in strength as it goes down. It actually builds in strength on your palate as it goes, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, everything's kind of mouth-watering at this point now. Good
This-
whiskey, really
this
good
retro
whiskey.
now is very God. It's got some pepper to it, man. More like a
It's-
black pepper.
Oh, it sure
man.
does. Yeah.
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 It's intensified quite a bit.
It really has. Yeah.
And I get a mesquite note, like
Very much so.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was gonna say kind of like a liquid smoke almost. that
Yeah,
add.
There you go.
Yeah. Very cool.
Good start.
Yeah, man.
It's been a good start.
Yeah, I'm digging this. So we had our Club Marzipan anniversary.
Oh, nice.
As if I didn't have enough fun in Bardstown over the weekend. we had our Club Marzipan 2-year anniversary at Hard Truth. And I gotta give a shout out to Brian and all the crew there at Hard Truth, man. I mean, I know Rob, you've done the podcast there.
They're awesome people down there.
The grounds there are immaculate,
Beautiful.
and they opened their doors to us and shut that place down for the whole day. We got a full tour. They were actively distilling the sweet mash rye, so we got to taste that straight off the still, which
Nice.
is wonderful.
It is, yeah.
The fermentation tanks were active. They were all bubbling, going nuts. Had a good time doing that. Then a great lunch, a great buffet lunch, barbecue. I mean, their
Yep.
food there is
Their
phenomenal.
food's awesome. Yeah.
After that, obviously did a barrel pick. We ended up picking 2 barrels of bourbon, one specifically for our club and one to go in their gift shop with our Club Marzipan label on it. Then we picked, and we both picked their wheated bourbon, 6-year wheater, and we were the first club that picked a single barrel of the
Wheater.
wheated mash bill.
Nice.
So
nice.
very, very stoked about that. Their wheated bourbon, I thought their wheated bond last year that came out was really good.
I think we still have some on the
Yeah,
shelf.
this is another notch up. It's
Yeah.
gotten better.
That's awesome.
we-
Hard Truth's doing some great stuff right now,
We
man.
may have set a Guinness World Record for the number on a barrel pick. It was 30. 30 people on that barrel pick.
Damn.
And they had us all laid out
That's half the barrel.
in the rick house. Right. It became a short barrel all of a sudden.
So
We didn't
so
get
with
we didn't get a
30
high yield
people-
out of this for some
Yeah.
reason.
Wrap your
So
brain around
obviously,
that.
being Club Marzipan, anybody can join. You just have to pay to
Correct.
play. But most people that are going to join that are going to be people that are into whiskey, that have good palates, all that stuff too. That's got to be a hard thing to do, a pick with 30 people that all have different palates but good palates.
Unique palates, yeah.
Because I mean, you told me, you said there was one you wanted to pick and it didn't end up getting picked,
Nope.
and you're like, that was the best one yet. And I'm like, I trust you because I know your palate. I don't know if I trust everybody else. You
Well,
know
that's
what
just
I'm
the
saying?
same way with us at
Yeah.
full strength with 5 people.
Oh, yeah.
We all can tell when stuff's really good,
Yeah.
but it may not be, it might fit like you and Scott's palate, but not
Yeah.
necessarily me and Mike's.
See, that's what I like
So-
about the 5 of us. We all have comparative palates, but different palates.
Yeah.
We all like different flavors. Like you're more spice, I'm more sweet. I think you're somewhere in between that.
Yeah.
Scott, I think, leans a little bit more towards the rye now
The
too,
rye,
and I think
yeah.
Mike is kind of somewhere in between as well. But it's like to do a pick with people that are totally opposites. As soon as you all agree on a pick, you know it's going to
gotta
be a
be good.
banger for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Is like, if you're doing picks for a store, like say like Antonio, we talk about Antonio all the time at Hacienda. If he does a pick, he doesn't need to do a pick that you take a cigar smoker on.
Yeah.
It's not what his jam is. But you want to do a pick that's going to work with the people that are buying the product. For here, we always go with people that smoke cigars because we're actually smoking cigars as we're doing the pick, so we can figure out what to pick that goes with the actual cigars. It just depends on what your jam is. If you're not a cigar smoker, obviously, maybe you don't want something that pairs with a cigar.
Yeah.
Right. So we had 4 bourbons to choose from, and we had 3 ryes to choose from. So with the bourbons, we narrowed it down to 2, and we did a revote, and it was 28-2. So it was a unanimous decision on
Were you
that
one of the
bourbon.
2?
No.
Okay.
No. I wanted the bourbon. Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh yeah, you
so-
were looking at the rye.
So the rye was different. The rye was very polarizing because they were all 3 extremely different.
Yeah.
And if you weren't a rye drinker and you were more leaning towards a bourbon, you were going to migrate to a different one than what the rye drinkers were
Yeah.
migrating to. So that one was a little more challenging.
That would be hard with Hard Truth because some of their ryes are very sweet. So a sweet
exactly.
bourbon lover would love some of the sweeter ryes, but a
You would-
but a rye lover would.
You would think that didn't go that way. The
Really?
Swedish rye did not get picked. Which
Okay,
I was
good.
shocked because that was the one I was actually leaning towards because it was just phenomenal. I thought it drank like old Overholt 11-year rye. Like
Oh,
it
wow.
was delicious, like a Pennsylvania rye.
Okay.
Had that sharp rye, but that sweetness and
I'll tell
long
you,
finish.
talk about a great day trip, man. Go down. They're only an hour and a half south of us.
hour and a half.
Go
max,
down,
yeah.
go down there to Nashville. See them, Nashville, Indiana, that is. and then head down to Starlight afterwards. And you
Yeah.
can have literally an entire day. And those two are probably, I would say in Indiana, those are the two distilleries you can go to and have an experience at both of them.
Well, you can also go to Bear Wallow. Which
Bear
is
Wallow's right there, too.
by Hard Truth.
And
yeah.
and don't sneak. You got to
Sleep
sneak
on
up
it,
on them, man.
yeah.
Those guys are amazing. Their barrel proof stuff is absolutely delicious. Now they don't release a lot of it,
No.
and they don't make a lot of it. But if you get in there and get a bottle of it, you're gonna love it.
Well, shout out to Dirk Fence. Dirk brought
Yep.
in some aged stuff that he got from them, some
Yep.
9-year. It was
Yep.
banger good, man. It
Yeah.
was really, really good. But yeah, so we got through that. That was got the rye picked. After that, they had all these excursions set up for us. They have ATVs. They take you on these crazy ATV
Did you
rides.
go on the aggressive trail where they're like just blasting
straight
you?
up, man. Straight
Oh,
up. Yeah,
that was
crazy.
so fun. That
Like,
was
you're
so
just trying to
fun.
make sure you don't fly out of the thing.
It's literally the two guys that drive the carts that take you on those. I don't know, you may have had more with this one, but the two guys, they're actually kart racers. And they race each other.
Oh, yeah.
On the trail. They'll slide the cart sideways right to a tree and keep going around. And they're tight trails.
They have the course memorized so much that you'll see a root coming up, sticking out, and at literally the last second, and they just miss it by
Yep.
a hair. Like,
But the funny thing about that tour is, you take a little, you're jostling around, you go around the curve, then stop, and you're like, oh, hey, let's have a drink. They stop and they pour you something, and they go through their their whole lineup. They'll go through some beer, they'll go through their whiskeys, and they'll go through even I think they had a cocktail on one of ours, and you have 6 stops maybe,
they
and you
they
drink.
abbreviated it for us. We didn't have
Oh,
as many.
okay.
Because we had so many different things to do.
Yeah.
They had a cocktail class. We could go mix our own
Yep.
old fashions, make our own old fashions. They have a beach there now with a tiki bar and a tiki pontoon.
Yes, you can go out on the pontoon and have drinks. And
We went out
Poontang
there.
on the pontoon.
Shout out to Captain Craig.
He's awesome.
He got us sloshed on the pontoon boat, and
Well, did they do the same thing to you? So I did the pick with Dirk down there last time, and they literally, we were so freaking hammered. We ate 3 times.
yeah.
We got there and we had lunch with them, and then they bring out samples for us to try like a flight, and we did those, and then we go in the rick house, do all the stuff out there, and then we do the tour, we drink there, and they go back in. It's like, we got to eat again, so we ate again, and they bring out their sample tray. Their sample tray has everything they make. It's like 50 things on it, and they're like little half-ounce pours of all of them. You're like, what the hell am I going to do with all this?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Finish
And
it.
you do.
Finish him.
They gave us.
But they didn't bring one out for the table. They brought one out for every single person. It was like, holy crap.
They gave us a.
I don't think you
huge-
understand how much I drink.
Exactly.
They gave us a huge disclaimer at the beginning and said, "Look, we're going to throw a lot of alcohol at you today.
Yes.
This is not about drinking everything.
Exactly.
You,
Yeah.
You don't have to drink everything. We don't want you to drink everything.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, but we're going to have it there, and you just be responsible.
Yes.
And I was so proud of my club Marzipan because some of us can get sideways
Oh
sometimes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not calling out who they are, but
Ari.
they,
We don't name names.
no,
I just said that because I only know a couple of them.
everyone made it to the end.
Good,
Everyone
good.
was still standing. Everyone could still talk and
Yeah.
communicate, and so it was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is a very, very fun experience. They have a nice little merch area too, but their restaurant is fantastic. Their food there is awesome. Everything I've had there, I've probably had maybe 10 different things there. Everything was like, I want to buy that again.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah.
So good.
We ate there. We as a group we ate there at the end, and Smash Burger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I judge Smash Burgers, harshly.
Are you a smash burger judge
I'm a
too?
Smash Burger snob, and they're up there.
Oh,
They're
that's
up
awesome.
There. They're really good. They know how to get it just crisp
And
enough
that's
on the
a
outside.
quick trip down. If you're in the Indianapolis area, man, it's not that far down. Go down 65, cut over, you're there.
I highly recommend going and checking it out this summer. They have music. They have a huge stage. They have music every weekend. There's always
It's a cool
something going
stage
on.
too. It's like
Yeah.
down off their patio.
Yeah, it sits down.
I mean,
but-
honestly, you could sit on their patio and
still
drink
see it.
out there and listen to it, or go down and do it. They have some areas where you can smoke cigars, but it's not as wide open as some places. It's more touristy, so you can't do that. But they do have some areas where you can smoke cigars there too.
So back to this pour. Do you
Uh-huh.
guys almost get a little bit of almost like smoked meat oil sitting on the palate. It almost tastes like you've been eating barbecue, almost like some brisket. Just I don't know if it's just the oils.
Yeah, a little bit of that fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I can see what
with
you're
the
saying.
I think with the cigar, I totally get that.
Yeah.
I don't know because when I first tasted it, I didn't.
I
quite
didn't get it at
that.
first.
Yeah.
But after a few puffs on the cigar and some
Yeah.
retros.
And part of it's the way it coats the mouth. It's kind of the same
Yeah.
way as fat does in a brisket. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's oily. I'm assuming this is pot still.
It is, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
So it's got a lot of oil. It's got a lot of, there's definitely more congeners in this, and that's the fun thing with a pot still. You can really play with your cuts, and you can make
Yeah.
it what you want.
Yeah.
You can get a meaty, chewy whiskey,
Yep.
if you want.
Yep.
So it's good.
Well, you
But-
want to go ahead and hit the
I'm gonna
do our ads real quick,
pay some bills while we're getting before the next one.
and we'll keep drinking.
Oh, of course.
Final Third Cigar is Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge. Come to Final Third for a selection of over 20 different Aladino cigars,
Alan,
including
hopefully he's
the
listening live.
Cameroon, a wonderful cigar with nice
go back
light
on, I'll say it.
flavors.
He
Make
said-
sure and visit Final Third, the
Place is
Aladino
called
exclusive
Specs.
cigar lounge for Indiana. From concept to creation, Bother Visuals specializes in bringing your ideas to life. They'll turn ordinary moments into extraordinary stories. Bother Visuals is your one-stop shop for all things visual. Be sure to like and follow on all social media at Bother Visuals.
Are you watching it on YouTube?
Thank you to sponsor Deadwood Live. Derek with Deadwood Live is producing top-quality live edge products as well as bourbon-themed furniture. If you've been in the lounge, you've seen the custom live edge table and barrel stools produced by Derek. Be sure to give him a like and follow on Facebook at Deadwood Live. That's D-E-D Wood Live.
And we're back.
Hey. All right, so I'm still seeing the Deadwood Live ad going here.
We're delayed.
Well, it's delayed.
Oh, I got you. That's right. Duh. So Alan Humphrey just actually sent me. It's called Specs in Austin.
Austin,
So Specs
all right.
is the Total Wine of Texas. So
Okay.
There you go.
they might have Total Wine down
It's a
there
pet
too. but I
store
don't know.
here, but yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that place is awesome.
All right, man. What are we going to go with? We want to move right on.
You tell
along?
me. I don't know anything about those two. So if you want to go with the
so
one,
I will
This
pull
one?
this. So this is Kings County Distillery out of the Brooklyn, New York.
Nice.
And I'm gonna pull up some notes on this. This I'm pretty sure was a Club Marzipan pick. But Kings County it started, I think, in 2010. Outside of Brooklyn. They moved to Brooklyn in 2012, but it's two owners, and of course I can't get it to pull up on my internet now. I had it there, but it's no longer there. But this is a pick that we got. This is a barrel strength straight bourbon whiskey, 67.3%, non-age stated. This is 80% New York corn, 20% UK malt, and it's been aged at least 4 years. So, 4 years or more.
Gets his corn
I'm gonna
from
tell you
New
right
York
now.
City.
This is one of those things where when I was thinking about doing the small stores, I'm like, this could go one way or the other. This has all been amazing so far. These whiskeys have all been great. And this is the reason why we're talking about this right now is because if you're going anywhere and you have a little bit of time on your hands, just go on Google Maps and hit distilleries and find the hole in the wall places and stop in. You may find a gem that you can share with us because that's what we do when we travel anywhere we go. We're hitting up distilleries, finding out who's what. Yeah, when you go to Kentucky, it's always fun to go to the big dogs, but hitting these little ones and finding little gems, all of a sudden you're like, this is amazing.
So this is 67.3. Is that 100?
That's 130.
Almost
135.
135.
134.6?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. It's got a little punch to it.
Nice. We're kicking it up, baby.
Yeah, so, Kings County, man, like, they've won a ton of awards. They've won awards from the Ascots, from, the American Craft Spirits Association. They've won San Francisco awards. And they are originally started out in Williamsburg, and it became the smallest commercial distillery in the country at that time. They had 5 24-liter stainless steel stills, And now in 2020 in 2012 or 2012, I can't even talk now.
2012.
2020,
You heard it here first.
7, 9, 10,
That's
12.
a little in the future, buddy.
In 2012, let's go there. They moved to the historic Brooklyn Naval Yard, just steps away from the legendary site of the Brooklyn Whiskey Wars of the 1860s.
Huh.
It's a lot of history there. I asked these guys, I'm like, how in the hell do you get your grain into Brooklyn every day on a truck? He's like,
Boat.
it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
they brought it
No,
in
they
to
bring
be
it in
a
on
boat.
trucks.
Okay.
But man, so founders Colin Spolman and Dave Haskell are the co-owners. They've got some really nice Scottish style pot stills that they use. So this is going to be pot still whiskey.
Yeah.
I haven't tasted this in a while, but I got a really distinct note when I tasted it the last couple times. So as you can see, we've hit that bottle quite hard. I thought it was a really good bottle.
I'm trying to think what that note is.
Well,
I
let
know-
alone from mouth watering, it's eye watering. If you get
This
a
is
big,
good.
big sniff of that thing, your eyes are going to water.
This honestly drinks like Texas whiskey does.
It does.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it?
It does. It's a good follow-up to that Crowded
Yeah.
Barrel, isn't it? Yeah.
It just goes to show you like what you can do with a pot still. Like,
Yeah.
you can have a lot of fun with a pot still. A lot of people like say, oh, they like clean whiskeys and strip them down.
You didn't have to ask on this one. She's just
Yeah.
like, give me some of that.
Yeah, that's good. You want more? I got more here.
But you get a lot of the distillate coming through this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got that kind of gosh, what am I thinking about? It's I got bacon fat in my head now, but I know that's not exactly what I'm thinking of. It's
I'll tell you what I get.
Tell me what the
I
note
get,
is.
I get a really prominent sarsaparilla note.
there you
on it.
go. There you go. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
root beer, sarsaparilla.
Yeah.
Very chewy.
Yeah.
Very lingering. It's a little dry.
Not like a root beer bomb, but it's definitely got that note in there. More, you're right. More sarsaparilla than the sweet root beer. Yeah.
kind of
the root.
kind of a cola note too, maybe like
Yeah.
a Dr. Peppery cola kind of
Yeah.
thing going on.
Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Pepper. We'll take a sponsorship anytime.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen there's a documentary on Netflix called Empire Rye, and it's all about New York's claim to making Empire Rye whiskey, and it's
Yeah.
a classification now for New York whiskey. Kind of sets New York apart,
Yeah.
and gives them an identity. And they were a heavy part of making Empire Rye part of New York whiskey's kind of legacy or terroir, or however you want to look at it. If you haven't had their Empire Rye whiskey, I strongly suggest you try it.
Okay.
It's a great rye. I think they're great distillers. They're small, right? They're
Yeah,
not going
yeah.
to be big. And if you look at the bottle, it's probably the most simple packaging you're ever going to see on a bottle. It's very laid back, but
Yeah.
it's that old style pre-prohibition kind of bottle.
Yeah, it almost
look
looks
to it.
medicinal,
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
It was reminding me of a lot of the bottles you saw. If you go to Bardstown and go to their whiskey museum,
Yeah.
the majority of the pre-prohibition bottles you see, or even the prohibition bottles you see for medicinal
Yeah.
bourbon, were almost identical to that.
Absolutely.
It does. It looks
Yeah.
like it should be on a shelf at a pharmacy. Yeah.
Yeah, so they do all open fermentation. They've got 2 pot stills with some pretty aggressive line arms on them. Again, I don't know who they use for their cooperage.
So I'm curious. You talked about New York rye. I know Pennsylvania rye is a big thing. I know like up towards Rhode Island, some of the rye's up there. Is it all very similar rye being up in New England area?
Well, it can't
Or
be
what?
because New York's got that water.
The water. The water.
Yeah,
Is that a similar rye, or is there a specific note you get in New York rye?
I think
that's
Empire
different?
Rye is completely different than
Okay.
Pennsylvania Rye
Okay.
or Kentucky Rye or Indiana Rye, which when we think of Indiana Rye, you kind of immediately go to 95.5 MGP.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Again, you've got Hard Truth doing a 96.4, which tastes nothing like 95.5 because of their sweet mash process. I'm not sure if Kings County sweet mashes, I imagine they do, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't, it's hard to tell.
Well, and you brought up MGP, so we actually we bid on a tour of MGP with Ian, the master distiller there, and we need to get that set up because Will and I bought that, so we're gonna be going up there or going down there and doing that. Doesn't sound like it'd be an amazing thing for just the average person, but the people that know the history behind what's going on in MGP is going to be most amazing thing, and the production scale of that. I can't wait to see the scale of that after going to the distilleries we've been to.
You know, I
It's gonna be
feel like
amazing.
we got the golden ticket to Willy Wonka.
Exactly,
And
that's
we get
exactly.
to go behind the gates, and no one gets to
Yeah.
see it.
If he's not dressed up like Willy Wonka, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, we should message Ian and say, "Are you gonna like? Are there Oompa Loompas?
Gotta go
Yeah,
full Gene Wilder.
Can I jump in the chocolate fountain? That'd be
Can I
great.
get my pictures with the Oompa Loompas?
Augustus.
I need to reach out to him, find out if he's a cigar guy too, because I'll take some cigars down for us to smoke, and when we get done with the tour, have some drinks outside.
Yeah, so speaking of MGP and that tour, Larry Ebersol, he's the executive there at MGP. He was the kind of creator or mastermind behind the whole 95.5 rye
Oh, really?
mash bill.
Wow.
He kind of developed that for MGP. He just got inducted into the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame.
I was going to say,
Hell
that's
yeah,
something
he
I'd want
should've.
my name attached
he
to.
got announced, and so I think he's the only non-Kentucky kind of guy that's getting inducted into the, Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame.
That's
Yeah.
got to be probably the most copied mash bill.
Yeah.
Across
why
the board,
That's why I
period.
said I definitely want my name attached to that.
Hell
'cause-
yeah.
Definitely, got to be the most sourced rye mash bill.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
100% that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you look at it, it stands up. Like, look at Drew Black, Circle City Whiskey, 95.5, was up against Saz 18 in the rye over
How'd that
12
end
years.
up going? I didn't read the article.
Saz 18 won it.
Of course it
yeah,
did.
So,
Yeah.
we all did this tasting. We all went with, if it was a rye of the year, we would have gone with Drew's Circle City. If it was whiskey of the year, we would have gone with Saz 18
yep,
probably.
yep.
But yeah, Saz 18 ended up pulling it out
Okay.
on that one. Hey, still shout out.
Hey,
man.
shout out
Yeah.
to Drew, man. I mean, getting in that competition.
Hey,
is
even
pretty freaking
even
amazing.
be in that pairing, in that group of
I mean,
you're
you're
that's
going
saying
against
something.
two massive dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And you literally just
Iconic.
sourced an
Yeah.
amazing barrel, and that tells you what Drew's doing,
Oh yeah,
man.
you
Oh,
pull two double platinums and a gold at Ascot's your first time going in there.
Yeah.
You're doing something right.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to his overrate this bottle.
Yeah, we almost killed it last night. I don't know how much we have left. I think we're on my last bottle.
Yeah.
So the Pacers need to close this thing out, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I kind of wanted a bottle of that.
I think it's probably hard pressed to find that at the liquor stores at this point.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
Fox Garden bought 10
Fox
cases
Garden,
of it.
if you're still looking for a bottle, Fox Garden is probably
that's
your
right, they have a
safe
carry-out
bet.
there, too, yeah.
They have a carry-out license. You can buy it at Fox Garden. Love those guys at Fox Garden. But yeah,
That's also a history bottle. That'd be a
yeah.
fun one to have on the shelf if you're a Pacer fan.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, but back to, the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame, the 2025 inductees this year are Craig Beam, who's down at Jackson's Purchase now.
Yeah.
Which is on I think it's closer to Paducah. Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
And there is him and Terry Ballard. Those two are basically laying down whiskey right now. It should be hitting the shelves here in a couple. I'd say maybe by the next year.
Okay.
It'll be ready. But that'll be a really good bourbon when it comes out. Mary Dowling, I talked about Larry being in. Chris Morris, the master distiller for Brown Foreman.
Okay.
He's getting inducted, and Damon Thayer. So
Nice.
that induction ceremony will occur in September. And I'm really, really stoked to see
Yeah.
these guys get in.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So
That is a great whiskey right there.
I'm surprised, Chris Morris is he's probably one of the top master distillers in the world right now. Being for Brown Foreman,
Yeah,
be responsible for overseeing Old Forester and Woodford, and
Well,
all
we
those,
talked about it too beforehand when Sazerac left R&DC and went to Johnson Brothers. It was like a massive uproar in the industry. Brown Foreman just did the same thing. They
Yeah.
moved over to Johnson Brothers too, and there's some rumblings about some other things happening. something crazy's happened with RNDC right now, which I know most people don't know who RNDC is. They used to be one of the biggest distributors, if not the biggest distributor. Now they're down around 3 or 4. But
Well, it's a huge gut check.
yes, it
It's
is.
a huge gut check.
Well, we were talking yesterday. We thought, we were thinking maybe Jim Beam or Wild Turkey might have been in their portfolio. So no, Southern Glacier has that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what they're doing.
It's I would love to know the rationale behind what was the issue,
Yeah.
because they don't ever really tell you what the issue is. But I will say, being in the distribution business, it's really difficult because
Yeah.
you're always in the middle, right? And you're always like, you're trying to please the retailer, you're trying to please the distiller,
Yeah.
and sometimes the retailer doesn't like the distillery, and sometimes the distillery's playing games with the retailer, and there's always this back and forth, and it can be a challenge.
Yeah.
But for whatever happened, I hope RNDC takes this as lessons learned and can rebound, and at least the brands they have, support them well.
Yeah.
And get them in the places they need to be, and maybe it elevates some of these middle tier distilleries and gets them on another level. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of the problem with RNDC had was, and we saw it on our side, we really had no good contact. It was
Yeah.
like order online, move on. I think maybe these distilleries said, you know what, they're not really going out and selling our products. They're not doing a good job of distributing the products, getting the product out there. So we got to move on. Southern's actually been doing a good job for us lately. We have a new rep, Chloe, which is awesome. She's great. She's in here all the time. I think they're stepping their game up. I think they had to.
Yeah.
I think Johnson Brothers. I'll put it out there right now. I'd like to see them get a little bit better on their reps to come out and talk to us and tell us what's new and stuff. That would be helpful. And honestly, they need to now. Now that they have the 2 big dogs, they really need to do that. I say it all the time. Any a small batch, of course we know the guys. They're all in here quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're one of the ones that are setting the tone for the industry to get out there and actually sell products and educate people on what they're tasting. It's easy to go out and sell a new brand of whiskey when you go out and actually do tastings and stuff like that. If you believe in it, people are going to love it. But you have to get out there and do it.
You have to put it in the market first
You
before
have
the
to.
market will take it and then run with it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at with this Kings County, this is clearly unfiltered whiskey, because you can see.
Oh, yeah, a little
on
second,
mine,
I can
have
see right through
so
it.
much. I have so much flock building. You can see where they
Oh, yeah.
literally.
Oh, yeah.
The legs dried on it.
Uh-huh.
and
Turned
You
white.
get this cloudy white. If this whiskey was cold, it would be cloudy as all day.
Uh-huh.
But,
Yep.
You know what? You're getting all the oils,
Yeah.
all the fatty acids in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Gives it so
nothing's
much flavor.
pulled from this. It's full flavor.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That is good, man. So, Will, okay, so we brought these. I know you guys, when you guys do traveling around, you hit distilleries and stuff. Has there been any small distilleries you've hit up? You're like, this is actually really fun distillery to go to.
Our last Bardstown trip, we just mainly just the big names.
Yeah.
We did hit Preservation, which was a little bit different, but
Haven't been there yet.
we went because there was longhorn cattle on the property, but
Oh, yeah, because she had to hug a cow, didn't she?
it was their product's amazing, but it's so high priced
Yeah.
that it almost pushes you. It just deters you from buying anything.
Yeah.
When the cheapest thing there is like $199 a bottle.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
But I mean, we had a great person that was working in there that day that gave us a bunch of samples and tried to let us try a bunch of stuff. And I mean, if I would have had the money then, I would have gone ahead and bought it. But that was the tail end of our trip and kind of a last minute, oh, let's go try this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it just holds true to the fact, like you were saying, if you're taking a vacation somewhere, just look it up.
Yeah.
Look up small distillers in
Yeah.
the area and go check them out,
Yeah.
because
I
you
mean,
never know what you're going to find.
And every one of them will do a tasting, so you can actually
Oh, yeah.
try through the products. And you know what? If you don't like it, at least you got to try someplace new. Maybe you made a new friend and got a good conversation about what they're doing and why they're doing it. But most of the time, what I found, I don't know about you guys, I'll go to some places like hole in the wall nowhere, and there'll be one thing that stands out. You go, holy crap, that was really good.
Yeah.
So they have a lane.
And
that
if it's
they're
not
good
that,
at.
it's a cocktail.
Or other cocktails, yeah.
They'll have a random cocktail that they make out with their own product that just night and day just stands out.
Well,
And you're just like, whoa, that's different.
I don't want to crap on their distillation because they're doing a good job. But like 1205, well, Four Fingers now.
Yeah.
They're not as much known for their whiskeys and their distillate. They're known for their
known for the
cocktail
cocktails,
program,
yeah.
and that's what they're going for. And they have amazing mixologists. If you want to go and have some crazy good cocktails, check them out, man. They're over in they have in Westfield, and Indianapolis, and all that. Really great place too. Again, another tiny distillery that's doing something amazing. They figured out what to do with their product, and they're doing it great.
Yeah, they have some rhubarb flavored whiskey that
We've got it right down
they
here,
do
yeah.
some amazing cocktails with. It's
Yep.
delicious. Yeah.
Well, that was where we went over there right before we opened. We went over there, and the girl was making a Sazerac. I'm like, you got to make it for me. So she made it. It was actually, other than I love ours. I mean, I'm biased. Other than that, I loved hers. It was great. It was really great, and they used all their own whiskey, their own absinthe, and all that. So they're doing some good stuff. So yeah, definitely check them out too.
Yeah, one of the owners, I can't remember his name, I apologize, but they sit right behind Scotty D
Oh yeah.
at the Fuel Games. So we
Yeah.
always chat with them. They're super nice people. And you know, the thing about these small craft distilleries like 1205, they're not trying to distribute to 50 states.
Nope.
Yep.
They're built to serve the community that they, are established in, and they really cater to the local community environment like you do here. And that's what you love. You got to support those, because if you're not going to do that, they're never going to thrive. They're never going to go anywhere.
Exactly
and
right.
They'll go out of business. So, support your local craft distilleries. They're there for you
Yeah.
to have a special thing here, so that when you have guests coming to town, like family coming from out of town, friends coming from out of town, you can take them to these little niche places. They're never going to get a bottle anywhere else
Right.
than there.
Right.
So, it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
I mean, it's always fun to go to the big dogs, go to Buffalo Trace or Heaven Hill or whatever. It's always fun to go to those things, but they're made for production. They're
made
not
for the
made
mass.
for the experience.
Yeah.
You will have an experience when you go there, and that's great. But hit these little guys up, and you go in there, and all of a sudden you see the locals that are there, and you get to talk with the locals about why they support this brand. It's usually not about the whiskey. It's usually about, oh man, I've been friends with this family for my whole life or whatever, and they just love the community aspect of it, and that's what this is all about.
So, speaking of craft distilleries, I do want to bring up that the University of Kentucky, the State Whiskey Alliance, we talked about this on the podcast a few episodes ago, but they have come up with a certification program for estate-grown whiskeys, and they have finally announced the first ever state-certified whiskey products that have gone through this certification process. So part of that is the certification has to, let's see, where are we looking at? It signifies that number one, the whiskeys were produced entirely on the distillery's estate, with at least 2/3 of the grains that are sourced locally. And then this certification aims to provide consumers with transparency regarding the ingredient sourcing and the production methods. So you've got Maker's Mark, Star Hill Farm that made it, which is probably the biggest.
Yeah.
You've got Hill Rock Estate. You've got Whiskey Acres. I think Frey Ranch is in there. If not, I'm sure they will be.
Yeah.
But shout out to Whiskey Acres for getting some street cred for what they're doing. Because if you don't know them, they're not on a national level. But the amount of effort they put into growing their grains and controlling the entire process from the time it's planted till the time it's hitting your lips, it should be recognized.
Yes, it should.
So,
Yeah.
Shout out Whiskey Acres for getting on the Estate Whiskey Alliance.
That's pretty amazing.
First, release of certified products there.
That's awesome. Well, I want to talk a little bit about the cigar again too. We're an hour and a half in. I still have at least an hour and a half on
I was going
mine.
to say the exact same thing. I was just looking at Will's.
I'm smoking. I smoke faster than anybody.
I know you
can't-
guys are quicker than I am, but my God, this thing is going to last me for 3 hours. It's a Robusto Extra, which
Yeah.
Robusto Extra is just like, it's halfway between a Toro and a Robusto. This is actually, I can't believe how long this has lasted me.
I need a little touch up on mine.
I was gonna say I haven't had to touch mine at all. It's burning straight across. Doing well. Full flavor still. I
Yeah.
mean, the flavor intensity almost kind of ramped up a little bit toward the
Yeah,
end
I
here.
won't even be able to get into the Killer Bee during the show today. So let's grab that last bottle,
Absolutely.
and then we can figure out if there's anything else we want to try. Thank you.
So this is going to be the last one we have is Pursuit United. They're double oak dry. This, in my opinion, this batch and this blend has put them on the map here. I'll switch because I've got a dump here. Still got a lot of whiskey here. But this is Pursuit Spirits is basically the genesis was from the Bourbon Pursuit podcast. So Kenny Coleman
Yeah.
and Ryan Cecil are the
They're
two guys
huge.
that have created this product. They've gone all out, man. They've created a bourbon whiskey line. They're opening up a new tasting room and distillery on Whiskey Row, literally right by where Bardstown's Bourbon Companies is on Whiskey Row.
Okay.
Right across from Michter's.
That's
I
cool.
think it should be opening up. You know how these things go. They wanted to be
Yeah.
open by now, but I think it'll probably be sometime at the end of the third quarter, I'm guessing. Maybe middle of the third quarter of this year.
Okay, hear me out. Nose.
I don't
Only.
even know if I have to nose this. I can smell it from here.
Nose. I'm like, on the nose only. I'm sure it's not going to be on the palate, but the nose is Smarties.
Smarties.
There's definitely a confectionery note to it.
Yeah. It's Smarties to me.
Ooh. I don't know if I ever would have pulled that.
That's the first thing I thought. I haven't had a Smartie in probably 30 years.
So shout out to Mike and the Nico wafers.
I do love Necco wafers, man. I got a bunch of them at home right now.
Nerd.
It's definitely toasty too.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's almost got like a toasted French bread kind of like a
Yeah.
like a hard, almost like a baguette kind of, but like toasted. It's weird. It's unique.
that has so many transitions on
Yeah.
the palate. It starts off to me with a, oh God, I lost a note now because it's already passed over that. It started off with like a light fruit, not quite pear, but I'm not sure. It's like a light fruit like that. But then it immediately kicked in the spice, and now on the back end, the fruit came back.
It's almost
It didn't stay spicy all the way through. It finished with a fruit.
it's almost like a white grape that goes into a spice note.
That might be it.
I like that
Great
call.
That's a good call.
I
yeah.
think that's right, man.
Yeah, I knew it was a light fruit. I couldn't think of what it was, but yeah, I think
It's-
you're right.
Yeah, it's
You know-
it has the sweetness of pear, but not the same flavor.
No.
But it almost tastes like a white grape, and then it evolves into almost like a peppery kind of spicy note. I can't get the spice yet.
But then the spice goes away really quick.
Really quick,
It's
and
like,
it goes
okay, there's
right
the
back to
rye, and then
sweet.
it goes right back to sweet.
So this is a blend of straight rye whiskeys, obviously double oaked, 108 proof. This was picked by Club Marzipan. Because
It's a hell of a pick.
what Ryan will do is he'll blend them and then rebarrel them, and then you pull them from the barrel. So it's kind of like it's still a batch. It's not a single barrel. But, you know, if you look at these two guys, like Kenny's kind of the brain. Well, I shouldn't say the brains. Ryan's got plenty of brains, but I'm like, Kenny's like the IT, the operational guy. Ryan's the blender. Ryan's got a wonderful, I mean, they both have good palates, but like Ryan's blending skills are like, man, the guy's underrated. A lot of people don't know how, you know, if you listen to the podcast and you hear him talk about when he's tasting whiskeys, he's got such a good palate. He loves fruity whiskeys, and
Yeah.
I dig fruity
There's-
whiskeys.
I do too.
And
There's a hint of tannin that just like steamrolls through that stays on there even
Yeah.
with the fruit note.
Tannin.
Just a strong oak, but it's not overpowering, but it still holds true even through the fruit.
and I still know I'm drinking a rye because I
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
get rye spice.
You
on
get a
the
little of
end.
the spice, but it's crazy how much sweetness
Yeah,
comes
I
through
see
the
what you're saying. The
spice.
tannin a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have over near Butchertown is where their like headquarters is right now. So the Whiskey Row tasting room is not open yet, but it will be. When it gets open, we all need to make a trip there.
We do,
'cause I think
yeah.
it'll be really worth it. But they've got this program called the Whole Shebang where you can basically go in. They've got these batches rebarreled, and you can basically go in, create your own blend, and they'll tell you what each batch is. So they'll talk about some may be Heaven Hill, some may be Finger Lakes Distillery from New York, some may be Barstown Bourbon Company, some may be Tennessee whiskey, not Dickel. Some may be Dickel, but some of it is, they have an NDA with some other Tennessee whiskeys that they can't disclose who they are.
The only one that's good is Chattanooga, so it's fine.
Well, I mean, look, there's
Jack does great stuff too. But
well,
Dickel actually has some good stuff.
There's Nelson's Greenbrier.
Yeah.
There's Old Glory.
Oh, Glory, that's right. I
Could
forgot
be
about that one.
you
Yeah.
don't know where they're getting it from, but
Yeah.
who cares, man? It's
Oh.
really good. Like,
Yeah. So there. Okay. So on Whiskey Row, what is that? Is that 7th Street or what is that road? I can't remember what it is.
God, I should know this.
Yeah, but it's Whiskey Row there. So are they
Wasn't this
on?
part of your theory? No.
Are they on
Yeah, I'm
the?
probably going to get punished now.
Because they're on the western end of Whiskey Row, right?
Yes.
Yes.
correct.
So you can start there with your blending bottling experience, and you can go through and you can hit Evan Williams, you can hit Angel's Envy, you can hit Old Forester. You got Peerless down there. I'm sure there's
Michter's.
some Michter's right there.
Yeah.
And then at the other end, you can go to Whiskey Thief and do the same thing.
And-
you can
and
deep
rabbit
throw
hole.
barrels and rabbit holes right
Yeah.
there. So I mean, there's so many things to do. That was the one I wanted to go to so bad, and then they shut the freaking roads down. And I couldn't do it. They literally got rid of. They evacuated the entire city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's great.
And
Thanks,
shout
Gas
out-
Leak.
And speaking of Whiskey Thief, like shout out, I met Amy Fox. She's the director of operations there now
Okay.
at Whiskey Thief.
Yeah.
She's kind of floating back and forth between Louisville and the old Three Boys Farm
Yeah.
location. But man, she brought a single barrel to the. We had a bottle share at the end of the Club Marzipan event, as if we needed to drink more. We
Yeah, of
stayed up
course.
till about 11:30.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Man, she brought a single barrel. That was amazing.
Oh, wow.
It was so good. I don't even know who distilled it. I don't know what it was at that point, but
Well,
Whiskey Thief is definitely on my radar now.
That's the one that Kevin Clausen and Marcos Galan he talks about. They talk about a lot. They have a bourbon group of guys that go out and do things. They always end up at Whiskey Thief, and they were talking about it when it was still Three Boys or
Yeah.
Three Boys. Is that right?
It's Three
Three
Boys,
Boys.
yeah.
Yeah. They were talking about it back then, and they said the experience there, the people, just the engagement with the people on the tours. He said it was better than anything they've ever done. So I've not been there yet. That was one I was going to hit that day, but it was closed because gas leaks.
Yeah.
That you found out after the
That I
fact.
found out after the fact. I was the only one in
Copper
the city.
thieves.
Where is everybody?
Yeah, where's everybody? God, that was
Massive gas leak. What's he do? He goes out in his car and lights a cigar and
I
drives
did.
out.
I literally went down. That's what I did every day. I went down in the Jeep, got in the garage, lit a cigar up, and I'm like, "Oh, gas leak! This is great." Drove around town, wrong way on the one-way roads. It was great.
So, to everybody out there listening to the podcast, the YouTube channel, give us some feedback. We've been talking about, bringing up, who are we going to bring on in the next
Yeah.
couple months as guests? Let us know if there's a guest you want us to bring on that we can try to go out and reach
Yeah.
out to and have, talk all things cigars and whiskey. Let us know. 'Cause
Yeah, and I
we're-
think with the five of us, we have a good connection with a lot of places, but we're not hitting everybody.
No.
So if you're somewhere, even if you're out of state somewhere and you're like, this is my local distillery that we love to go to and we love to hang out and they're making great product no one knows about. Tell us about those because we would love to reach out to
Absolutely.
them, have them on the show, maybe get us a bottle in here to taste on the show and talk about. We just love to spread the love of whiskey and cigars. And it's like, we want to try it all. And
Yeah, and there's a good chance if you love it, everybody else will too.
yeah, exactly.
Or
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
somebody,
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's going to like it.
Unless it's Amberana. Nobody likes that.
Yeah.
Well, somebody likes it, but I don't like it.
We don't talk to those people.
well,
No, that's the thing is our crew, we have 5 people on the crew, and I think 2 or 3 of you guys do like the Amberana to a degree.
It has to be
It's just
done in
me.
the right way.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's just
I
me.
wouldn't
If
say
it's quick,
We won't shit on it too much more.
if they do it quick and it's just a slight hint, it's one thing. But the guys that
RD1.
try and finish it for like months,
yeah.
it just ruins it.
But
Starlight.
it does for us, but Starlight sells the hell out of it.
Yeah,
And so some people do love that over cinnamon toast crunch, to me, I don't get the Cinnamon Toast Crunch as much as I get the tannins from the Amberana wood.
But I think the
That's just
fad-
my palate.
And I think that fad's
It's
it's had
dying
its
off.
time, and I think it's done.
Yeah, those distilleries are like releasing their first Amberana right now. I'm like, you already missed the boat, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you see cigar batches come out now, they are what they were meant to be. They're
Yeah.
cognac, Armagnac
Sherry.
finishes,
Sherry.
yeah, sherry finishes,
Or
Yeah.
port, maybe.
Or a
Sometimes they do
port.
port. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that have been really thought out. And
Well,
I
they
think,
finally figured out that cigar batches should actually go with a cigar.
yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys knew, but Sin Coburn
Yeah.
collaborated with Penelope.
Penelope.
Penelope,
Isn't that
yep.
awesome?
Cigar batch.
I want to get that bottle.
Yeah, and the great thing about that is that the combination of Sin's knowledge on cigars,
Mm-hmm.
Penelope's knowledge on whiskey, they're now creating a cigar whiskey pairing specifically for a cigar style,
Yes.
Yeah.
which nobody's done.
Nobody. Nope.
And so
I would say Brothers of Leaf have that's what they're working towards, but they're still small. But yeah, Penelope at their scale, I can't wait to try it. Is it available yet?
yeah.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
have to get some in here.
Yeah, I
I'll
hit
order it.
Sin
You're
up
gonna have
on
to get
social
Sin
media. I
back on
said,
the
we
show."
need a bottle of that on the podcast
Yes.
to try.
Okay,
Yeah,
good, good.
100%. Pair
Yeah.
it with one of Sin's cigars.
Love to
and-
have her come out here.
I was
and
gonna say
talk
she
about
said
it.
she'd poop here again. So I
She
mean,
did. Yes. Yes. Yeah. If you haven't met Sin, she's a hoot, man.
yeah. Go back and watch that episode. That was a trip.
Oh, she was hilarious. My gosh.
But they got a really smart play Penelope did, getting her involved.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
She's doing good too. She's like
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah,
health
she's-
issues.
Yes, her health.
Doing
She's
much
got her
better.
health back in order.
Yeah.
She's back in Nicaragua and out on the water all the time. She's doing really well. So I'm glad to see that. So if you're listening, Sin, which I don't know if you are or not, but we'd love to have you back out here and get on the podcast, or even just call in. We'd
Yeah.
love to have you on the podcast.
for sure.
When we get that bottle, I'll reach out to her and see if we can have her at least call in to talk about the process.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee that had to be a really fun process for her and for Penelope.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe we can get. Is Wendy still with Penelope?
No,
She's not. She
Wendy's
moved
no
on.
Longer. She's moved on. Wendy's actually. I just found out Wendy's going to be judging at the Heartland Whiskey
Oh, good.
competition.
Oh,
the
nice.
same one I'm going to be.
Same
at.
one you're
Oh.
at. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And when is that again?
that is the
Is it
middle
August?
of July.
Or August?
No, it's in July.
Is it July?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
July
Oh, I'm thinking of a different
11th
one.
or 12th.
You have to
I'd
let
say.
me know because I'd like to try to
I will,
come out
I will, I
and
will.
banter you a little bit.
Yeah. So,
You're full of crap, Will.
yeah.
Set the tone.
Well,
I taste butter. What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
there are some.
Shout out CSX.
I really wasn't sure like what this competition was going to look like from a judging standpoint. There's some heavy hitter judges coming in.
And by the way, this is at West Fork Whiskey
West
up in
Fork
West
Whiskey,
Ford,
yeah.
Westfield. Yeah.
Yeah, I just a lot of really heavy hitters coming in.
Is that going to be a ticketed event?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know if it's a private, closed judging.
If
or
it ends
not.
up being ticketed, let me know. I'll reach out to Blake and get a ticket because I would love to go out there and check that out.
Yeah, I think
That's
we
one
just
thing
call
I'm not
Blake and
into.
say, "Hey, Blake,
Yeah,
yo,
get me in, buddy.
Yeah.
Blake, are you listening?
Yeah.
Are you there? Are you there? Bueller?
Bueller.
yeah, yeah." Blake, it's like, text me. He's like, "Hey, we need to get coffee. I have some things I want to talk to you about." Okay, let's go get coffee. Haven't heard from Blake in 2 weeks. I'm like, Blake, are you still okay?
Are you okay? Are you alive?
Hello.
Yeah.
No, I know he's a busy guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's putting out a lot of product right now too. So another small distillery in Indiana. So
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
shout out to this last one because the finish just lasts forever.
it does.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
you
makes
can-
the tongue tingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their most popular, I'd say, blend they've done to this point is this double oak dry. It's something special.
That's a great end of the night, sitting by a
yeah.
campfire,
So-
sitting outside on the patio or something.
So
you
tell
just
me a
wanna
little bit about
sip and
this.
let
So
go.
Bourbon Pursuit, they started as a YouTube channel, and they're doing reviews. They're talking about the industry, doing all the things, kind of like we do. They don't distill anything.
Not yet. No.
So not yet.
And I
Okay.
don't think they're going to. I
Okay.
think they're going to have a still.
Now, did they actually source the barrels, do things with it, or did they have work with someone to actually create this, and then they put their name on it?
They create it all themselves.
Okay,
they
cool.
work, I think, in conjunction with Barstown Bourbon Company.
Okay.
They may do some of the benchtop blending at BBC
Okay.
to get their ratios right.
Because they've recorded out there at BBC
Yeah.
a couple times, haven't they?
Yeah.
Thought I remember seeing them one there.
We will too.
But bottling, packaging, dumping barrels, they're all doing at their own location.
Okay.
So
Oh,
if they're
okay.
using BBC for anything, it may be
Bottling or something.
no, not bottling.
No.
No, they do their own bottling.
Oh,
They-
wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
they've really
sourcing?
grown then.
If you ever want to go bottle, they have they do volunteer bottling, and so
Yeah.
if you want to go down, go to their website. They'll announce when they need help bottling. You go down to bottle for a day. They feed you a great lunch.
That's
They
cool.
usually do it on a Saturday. They feed you a great lunch, and guess what? You're going to go home with whatever they bottle.
Yeah.
You're going to go home with a couple bottles. for
Free
sure.
labor, but free bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're still like again.
It's a great barter.
Small and
Small.
they need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
That's really cool. And I mean, honestly, as a community, being a part of that puts a little bit of roots on the community saying, we're a part of this.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are doing this, but we're a part of what you're doing. And honestly, if you're out there all the time and you're bottling with these guys and blending and whatever with them, you're probably going to end up on the crew at some point saying, we need to blend
Yeah.
something. Let's blend something together. You're going to get the whole gamut of that.
And one thing that I really applaud them for that they were smart on is they realized we're I mean, I don't want to say a nobody brand, but two things. One, if you look at the packaging on that,
It's pretty basic.
it doesn't stand out on a
No.
shelf at all, right?
No, you have to know.
They've totally revamped their packaging. It's gonna definitely, it's a huge improvement. So
Okay.
kudos to them for doing that. Second thing, which I think is the most important thing, is they figured out we have got to have brand ambassadors in every state
Yeah.
we're at. Multiple
Yeah.
brand ambassadors.
Yeah.
They pay their brand ambassadors. If you're in a state where they're at, they're not in Indiana yet, maybe someday, but they put brand ambassadors in their states. They pay them. You know, it's not crazy money, but Gus, you get to
Probably
go out and
covers your
talk about
costs.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get free whiskey and you get paid to do it. And,
Yeah.
you know, they finally figured out, like, they're not going to survive on just going through distribution and leaving it solely up to distributor.
No.
It's never
Yeah.
going to work
No.
that way. So, to that point, if you're going to go into multiple states, you've got to get you've got to have brand ambassadors.
You gotta have people on the
If you're
ground,
not going
yeah.
to do that, you're not going to survive. You know, so I that was a smart move on their
Yeah,
part.
absolutely. Yeah. No, this is actually really good.
Yeah. I'm
You
kind
know,
of blew me away. I wasn't
it's kind of
expecting that.
funny. So, looking at these bottles we brought out here, these are all super small distilleries doing some fun stuff. The color on those bottles,
Yeah.
I mean, they're all dark.
It's all impressive.
And I'm very impressed because, I mean, sometimes you go to a small distillery and it's like, oh, yeah, we put it out at 2 years because we need to make money. You know what? It might not be that great.
No.
It might be fine. But it's usually light color and all that stuff. But these are all, you can tell that they put some age into these. They put some effort into these.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Well, blending's not a dirty word anymore, right?
No, it's not.
Sourcing, being a non-distiller
Yeah.
producer is not a dirty word anymore.
Nope.
You've got amazing whiskey coming out.
It's honestly a great way to get into the industry too, because you start sourcing barrels and you start doing things like Drew's doing. You source some great barrels and you get a name out there, and all of a sudden you're like, you know what, I could distill.
Yeah.
And then you add the distill in there, and then you have time to age it because you start sourcing great barrels. And Moondrops is doing that. They're sourcing their barrels, but once their
Well, I
stuff
think-
releases out, it'll be their stuff.
I think that's the almost like the balance you've got to find is you need to source to get your to get your product out,
Yeah.
get your name out there, but then you need the time to develop your own product and distill it in order to establish your foothold.
Yeah.
And this is us.
Yeah.
Yep.
But in the process, you have to source to maintain, to build that client base and
Yeah.
to build that flavor profile before your stuff is ready to go.
And that's
Otherwise, you're sitting, if you just tried to start to distill it,
Yeah.
you're going to sit on it for 5+ years
Right.
before you make anything.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you almost have to source to start.
You have to have millions of dollars in the bank just
Yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
get started. Yeah.
It's
If
like
you-
it's like the restaurant thing where if you want to make $1 million in a restaurant, start with
Start with
4.
two. Yeah, 4, yeah.
Well, and you look at West Fork, right? They're perfect example of that. They came out with Old Hamer, Hugh
Yeah.
Hamer.
Yep.
That's a nationwide known brand now. Like that is known everywhere, I think.
They win
Most
awards a lot for those
places.
bottles. Yeah.
And West Fork's, distillate, especially the weeded, it wasn't ready. Like it just
Yeah.
wasn't ready. But now that it's hitting 6 years, it's there. It's really good. They've made their mark. They're going to
Yeah.
go great with it.
Have you? We were over there when we did the podcast, and you remember trying the Bloody Butcher weeder that they had.
Yeah, I remember it.
Have they ever released that yet?
I think they did.
Because that thing was so freaking good.
I
that
wonder
was
if
my
somebody
favorite
bought
thing.
a single barrel of it. I'm
They
not
might
sure.
have. Because that was one that I thought was the best thing I ever had from them.
Yeah, and shout out, we support those guys. Blake's always supported us.
Yep,
and helped
absolutely.
us out with when we, sponsoring the Track podcast with all their releases. They've got a Father's Day release tomorrow, a Father's Day bottle release. You want to go do something fun for your dad, family? Go out there.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Go do
Yeah.
go get a bottle release. I think it's an amber corn. I'm not sure.
Oh.
And we've had some of their amber
But,
corns.
Yeah.
That were great. Yeah.
Should be a fun time out there tomorrow. for
That's
sure.
cool.
So,
I think last year's, not this year's 500, but last year, I think they gave us an amber corn to taste on the show.
they did. Yeah.
Yeah. Blake's doing some great stuff. I mean, there's a lot of great people doing stuff. I mean, we've seen Jason Fruits is starting to get back out there, and
Yep.
some of his stuff is actually ready to release again. You're going to start seeing Old 55 a lot of places again. Starlight still does what Starlight does. They release great things all
Their
the time.
experimental stuff's amazing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Jason's got a new distillate. I can't talk about it. I don't
Yeah, you
think.
can.
Yeah, we can.
Sure you can. Why not?
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Yeah, we can. Hey, Jason, is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was fine. He said
Yeah,
it
he
was
said
fine.
it was fine.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
it's fine.
Dan looked and said it was okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. So I'm excited.
That might be
to
a
see
fun
it.
one to go up and see him, and it's good. It's good. Yeah, that'd be a fun one. Maybe go up and talk to him a little bit about the new mash bill when it starts. Is it sitting in barrels now, or is
Yes.
it actually
Yes.
ready to start
No,
drinking?
it's just getting laid down.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I honestly don't know. I don't know what.
How long it's been?
I don't know how long he's been making it, and I don't know where
It's-
how long it's been in the barrel.
It's been a
Honestly,
few years, but
I believe
it's
he
been that
talked
long,
about
has it?
that a little bit to us when we
Yeah.
were up there for the old 55 event, but I don't remember what it was now. He might have actually talked a little bit about it on the show when he came on with us. I don't remember.
he did a little bit. I don't think it's ready, but he's
Okay.
I think he's
We'll have
super
to go
hyped
back
about
and figure
it.
that out. Yeah.
It's going to be good.
That's
So
the
watch
thing
that
is, like,
episode
say on that.
and let
I
us
think
know.
that's one of the things that a lot of people, I shouldn't say, crapped on, but with Old 55, they had their bourbon and then they had their sweet corn. They really got kind of famous for their sweet corn, and they everyone thought, oh, that's what they do. He's actually starting to do more things he's doing some wheat and doing some different things too. His what was that one that he won the award for? The
Single malt.
Single malt.
Yeah, he won
so
San
he's-
Francisco with that.
Yes,
thing.
so he's playing around with things now, and he probably has been for a while. But obviously, everything releases at least 4 years after you started the process.
And
So
I mean, to be fair, like sweet corn, that's it's an LTO.
It's candy.
You can't. It's just not a sustainable thing because it's so hard to grow it. You only growing like, I don't know, maybe he only grows like 10 or 15 acres of it. You
Something
don't grow
like
a
that,
ton.
yeah.
'Cause you can't keep the deer out of it. Can't keep the raccoons out of it.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
wants to eat it.
Yeah.
Because it's good.
by the way, so another new one we got on the bar, we just got yesterday. You and I tried it yesterday. The Cream of Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get
was
to talk
shocked
to you
how-
about that as
Yeah.
it progressed.
Actually, I need to get that bottle. I'll have her when she gets done with Dan.
Fruit
Hey,
notes.
hey,
on it.
Lisa, when you get done with Dan, grab that Cream of Kentucky bottle for us, please. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the fruit notes on that thing really pop.
Thank you. So yeah, this is the new Cream of Kentucky this year, coming in at 117.4 proof. Distilled Crestwood, Kentucky.
That's
Whatever.
Kentucky Artisan Distillery.
Okay, so
Yeah,
they are
yeah.
distilling it. They're
KD,
bottling
yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
It's unique. We'll try that next. We'll go ahead and do this one last.
Oh no, don't.
I know more whiskey. No. It shocked me because it was like the most unique, different whiskey I've tried in a very, very long time. I don't know. We'll get into it and talk about the notes a little bit, but this is available here now. I mean, if you ever remember the Cream of Kentuckys when they come out, they're hard to find. You're going to have a really hard time finding one of these bottles on the shelf. Maybe they're releasing more. That's why we were able to get so much more. But it's definitely a good pour. It's not a crazy expensive bottle. I think they go for about $95. But it's good. Now, I will say when the Cream of Kentuckys used to come out, MSRP was around probably $85 at the time. They never went for that at the stores. They were selling them for whatever the hell they wanted to because people just went out and grabbed them. So,
well, Jim Rutledge, who was the master distiller at Four Roses for so many years, this was his kind of dream product. He kind of came up with this whole concept, Cream of Kentucky. I don't think he's involved anymore in it. I think he kind of got out of it. And if it's being distilled at KAD now, that would be Jade who's distilling it.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Jade, what's the last name?
I think it's Jade Peterson.
Peterson,
I'm not
okay.
sure. I think Jade Peterson, yeah.
Okay.
But those guys, like, they distilled Jefferson's forever until Jefferson's built their distillery. So
that's right. I forgot about
all
that.
that distillate there. I'm happy to say I have a lot of barrels of Kentucky Artisan Distillery distillate.
If you need to buy the barrel, I know a guy.
I know a guy.
I have 3 kids in college next year. Come talk.
So if
to
you
me.
want to buy a
Please
barrel,
go buy.
he
Yes.
would really
Come talk
love for that
me.
to happen.
We'll talk turkey. I may give you a
now
discount.
there are rules on how you sell it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be at the Final Third Cigar Lounge parking lot.
You'll have barrels in the back of his
trunk
truck.
open, and you come by and talk, and we'll talk about it.
I wish we've talked about that too. It's like
That's a joke.
Yeah, that is a joke. But we have talked about that before. It's like it would be so cool if a bar like us could buy a barrel,
Yep.
put a freaking
Spout on
it,
Yeah.
and just be able to pour pours out of a barrel. I think that'd be so cool. I don't think it's legal. I don't know. I think it has to legally be
I think
bottled
it has to
at
be
a
bottled
distillery.
in order. Yeah.
But it would be so awesome to be able to get one of those because I mean I've tasted through several of your barrels that you've picked. They're freaking amazing barrels, and you're gonna obviously
if you-
sell them
Like the full medieval bar where it's just the barrel sitting in with
give
a
it to me, baby.
spit cock on it.
Yes.
We could go Wizard of Oz, and we could pop the head off. We could put a bottle in, put a pump on it, and then put a spout on it. It's still coming out of the bottle.
The views and
inside of a
suggestions on Final
barrel.
Floor Podcast are not necessarily
Let's
those
go
of the
Wizard of Oz here. Nothing to see here. Nothing to
Nothing to
see
see
here.
here. Yeah, put a curtain up.
Yeah. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
That would be awesome.
I think we could do it.
All right, figure
I
it
think
out.
that's legal.
Figure it out. We're in.
Another quick point before you light that Killer Bee,
Yeah.
which is our next smoke, look at the foot on it. That's not technically a closed foot, but it does have the wrapper excess
And do the
on
same
the end.
thing, light it.
Do the same thing as a
Yep.
closed foot. If it's
Yep.
got the extra wrapper on there, enjoy it.
Enjoy the extra
Instead
flavor.
of charring it and then smoking it, go ahead and light it and draw it in so you
Yep.
get that extra flavor from the
Yep.
wrapper. I just saw that when I lit mine. I was like, ooh, and then you were talking, so
That's
I waited.
what that, and I'm probably not going to get into it by the time we get done. But that cigar there is one of my little cult favorites. I love that little cigar.
But yeah, if it has a closed foot or extra wrapper on the tip,
Yeah,
light that and go ahead and draw it in. Don't
Yes.
char it and do the normal. Just go ahead and enjoy that because
get that
you're going to
immediate
get
transition.
you're going to
it's
get
like,
so much of that flavor right off the bat from the wrapper that you may not get in the rest of the cigar.
It's creamy and nutty. Like
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
As dark as it is, you'd think
Yeah.
it'd be more of a spice bomb.
it's not.
It picks up.
Yeah,
it picks
I mean,
up.
it ramps up toward the end, but
Yeah. All right, we'll finish off with this, and then we can get out of here. You guys want to try a little bit of this?
Yeah, sure. Let me dump here.
And again, this is available here at Final Third, so you can come in and get you a pour of it. I'm gonna be lubed up
dumping's
to work
okay.
today, and dumping is fine. Yes.
especially if you paid for the drink, go ahead and dump. It's fine.
Yeah.
You've already paid for it. Do what you want with it.
It's yours at that point. Had some really good whiskey today.
We have.
Sorry, Mike and Scott.
Yeah, what?
Scott's in margarita heaven.
I
right
know
now.
he's having a great time.
I wonder if he smoked through all his cigars yet. Hey, Scott, you'll have to tell us if you broke down and bought a Mexican Cuban.
Yeah. Did you get any Cubans on your trip?
Get that Cohiba with the slightly
Slightly
skewed
canted
label.
label.
We know you did.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We know you did.
Oh yeah.
Let me try and call him. No. Wake up.
I don't know. Can we hook up the board?
I mean, I can probably Bluetooth in, but
Try
I
if
didn't have
you
it
want
turned
to.
on.
Mikey's got to be exhausted.
Oh, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Mikey. Like, he's getting back to
Well,
being
he didn't have a
hammered
voice
today.
the other day.
Oh, he was.
so-
I had to make him a hot toddy because he had no voice. He's like, "Do you have any honey?" I'm like, "Yes, I got honey, buddy." Yeah. So Scott, he went, and I'm sure when he gets back, he'll talk in depth of what he did. But he has 25th anniversary, so shout out to him and Janelle for 25 years. That's pretty awesome.
An epic anniversary.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, everyone says, oh, my God, so Scott went to MMA and his wife went in that? No, Janelle's into
Janelle
it more
wanted-
than him.
I know, yeah. And,
that was a trip for her.
Yes.
Shout out to 25 years.
Oh, that's
That is
amazing. That's
that is
awesome.
Being married for 25 years,
Yep.
that's not easy. That's a challenge. So
All right, we'll see if we get him to answer. He might be naked on the beach at this point.
I didn't FaceTime him, so he can be naked all he wants.
What's up?
Holy shit, there he is.
you're live.
You're live, buddy.
I kind of totally forgot the show was this morning.
Oh, it's all good, buddy.
If we caught you at a bad time, we won't keep you long. We
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wanted to say hi, check in with you.
We figured you were naked on
You're
the
all
beach
good.
somewhere.
Well, actually, I am sitting in this place called Woody's, and nice enough place. I came to try and watch some of the U.S. Open golf,
Yeah, we got on
and
at the lounge.
so I've had a Paloma and 3 or 4 beers right now. So
Nice.
it's vacation, man. You start drinking early.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
that's why I called you instead of FaceTimed you, in case you were naked.
Yeah, that's a good call. You never know. I could have been face down and not necessarily in a beach. There's not a lot of them down here, but yeah,
Well,
man.
if you're
It's,
face down, you're
it's been
anchored.
kind of crazy. Right, exactly. Yeah.
So-
Yep, we've been out late at night, and being able to just got pissed off and left.
Okay.
Whoopsie.
Oops.
No,
Oops.
she's fine. She was just kidding because it's super hot in here.
Oh,
It's super hot everywhere down here. Yeah, we've been sweating our balls off. It's crazy.
our humidity
But,
up here has been pretty crazy in the last couple of days too. So
It's been very tropical
That's
here.
what I
Rich.
heard.
yeah.
Yeah. I had some guy try to sell me Cubans yesterday.
Nice.
That,
Did you get
was
them?
our comment.
We just laughed. We said we know you broke down and got a Mexican Cuban at some point.
No, it did not happen. Did not happen. No, I thought about it, and I was like, man, that's just a terrible idea.
I knew you thought about it though.
Hey, come on, you have to every time you're down here. And then they tell you, Cuba's just like 35 minutes from here. It's okay, these are all Cubans. Yeah, bullshit. They're not. We know better.
Nope.
That's
But
great.
I'll sell it to you for $10. I'll give you $5. Okay.
Exactly. Then they try to upgrade you to the box.
Yep.
So-
Right? They're like, you got $5. You can get 5 of them for 30.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a deal, man. It's a deal. Yeah, so Scott, you missed. So we've been sipping through craft whiskeys today. We're on our 6th and final.
Sixth bottle,
I think
yep.
we're done.
I think we are.
But we've had some really interesting, unique kind of craft whiskeys here that have all been unique and different and have their own little story. And it's been quite a fun.
It's been fun.
been a voyage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have.
Well, you're going to have to save some for me, guys.
Yeah, we got some samples here
Oh,
for you.
absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
Good. Hey, did I see right that it's like National Bourbon Day or something like that?
Is that every day? I think it's every day that ends with Y.
That does sound about right.
Kentucky ends with
that
Ys,
seems more
so-
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll celebrate that.
Yep.
All right, celebrate. Let's go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Happy National
Cheers.
Bourbon
Cheers,
Day.
everybody.
Cheers to Bourbon Day.
I'll make sure and see if I can find some bourbon here a little bit later.
I'm sure
It's our
you'll find
last
some.
day here. So
If not tequila. Yeah,
Tequila or rum is allowed.
Yeah.
I've already been drinking tequila today, and I'm sure I'll drink plenty more.
Love it.
Hey, Scott, did you get to the backside of the island at all while you were there?
Did I get what?
Did you get over to the backside of the island at all while you've been at Cozumel?
Yeah, we did that yesterday. So actually, the place I thought was so cool was the Welcome to Miami bar. It's
Okay.
literally a bar called Welcome to Miami, and they claim to have the best mojitos in the world. And I'll tell you, it's one of the best mojitos I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
They used a mortar and pestle, and then ground the mint into like nothing. I mean, into a liquid. They mixed the simple syrup with it,
Oh, wow.
and then which was crazy. And so it makes this super super dark green kind of syrup. They dump that in the glass, and then they throw in a juice of a full lime, juice a half a grapefruit, and then some Fresca and some soda water.
Oh, you're talking about Paloma, not Mojito.
No, it was mojito, and they did
Really?
grapefruit in it.
You better hope Andreas isn't listening.
Say, that sounds more like a Paloma,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Wow.
Well, it's kind of like a mix,
Yeah.
but it was damn good. The only problem I had was we went down to sit at the tables that were by the kind of the beach area, right? It's more rocky over there, but they've had this seaweed that's everywhere. I mean, mountains of it. I'm talking 3, 4, 5 foot tall, like mounds of it that go on for miles on the beach on the far side.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden this wave comes in, and it doesn't splash us with water. It kicks sand up in the air, like an entire wave of sand, and just covers Janelle and I from head to toe.
Oh, wow.
With sand. It went in our drink. It went in everywhere, man. It was absolutely crazy. But yeah, love the far side of the island. It was super cool. Lots of little spots to stop and have drinks. Just kind of a different vibe than being here in the main area.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Did you get to the tequila distillery in the jungle there, kind of in the middle?
We saw it, and it was already pretty late in the day, so we ended up not stopping. But I did see it.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure we'll come back down here at some point
Right on.
and visit again. We did manage to get out on a snorkel trip, but honestly, the hotel we stay at or staying at has some of the best snorkeling right there off the hotel.
Oh, cool.
It's got a lagoon. It's crazy, man. I'll tell you guys all about it.
That's cool.
But it was pretty wild.
Well, next podcast, we'll do a breakdown of your entire trip.
Definitely.
Sounds good. It was a good one. It was a good one this time. So
Oh, cool.
we'll definitely talk a little bit about it. I got some shout outs that I need to make on the next podcast when I'm back in town.
All right.
Good.
Good cigar spot, a couple other good people. So
Well,
Great.
by the way, I don't know
Look
if you knew
forward
this
to
or
being
not.
back.
I don't know if you knew this or not, but Josh Prine went with Jen to the game last night.
yeah,
So
I
he got
saw
to go
that.
and hang out, so that was good.
Well, I mean, it was good, except obviously it's his
Yeah.
fault that the Pacers lost.
It is.
So,
It is. Well, it's his fault, but it's also Jen's fault because Jen wasn't in here. So we'll
that's
do a little
true.
cross
Yeah.
breeding there, but I think we got plenty of time to come back in this series, so we're fine.
I agree. I think we'll make it. You guys got any picks for tonight's hockey game?
Let's go freaking Edmonton. I can't pick Florida no matter
that
what it
comeback
is.
win was insane. We didn't
Oh,
touch on that at all.
Did you
We just
watch
went
that?
straight into
Did you watch
Pacers.
that game, bud?
I did not get the chance to see it.
It was
Yeah.
probably the best overall hockey from the end of the third period all the way through the overtime. It was the best hockey I've seen
Because we
in
left
a long time.
We left early. It was still first period, and they were down 3-0.
They were down 3-0. They came back, tied it up in the second, and then
Granted,
they
that
got another
third
goal.
goal shouldn't have counted because there was a high sticking involved in the pass right before the goal.
Yeah,
But,
it is what it is.
it is what it is.
Yeah, but Florida tied it up there right at the end again in overtime. Draisaitl just did Draisaitl things, man. It was awesome. So I'm really rooting hard for Edmonton tonight. We'll have it on here at the lounge. Just anybody but Florida at this point. Anybody but Florida. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, hey, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
Yep.
man, enjoy the rest of your vacation.
buddy.
Yep.
Tell Janelle we said hi. Be
Yep.
safe coming home, and we can't wait to hear all your stories when you get back. So,
Yeah, we'll see you sometime this week.
Absolutely. I'll see you guys real soon. Thanks for calling, guys.
All right, buddy.
right,
Have a
man.
good
Appreciate
trip,
it.
bud. See ya.
See ya.
Scotty D smokes,
Scotty
baby.
D,
Yep.
living his best life.
Yes, he is. That boy is living his life, that's for sure. All right, anything else we want to talk about? I think we've already
I think
touched
we've
upon
said it
everything.
all.
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and close out here. Where can they follow you? Will?
Will?
Oh, Motofoto will.
Yep.
Will
I'm sorry.
one, Will
Will?
two.
Will?
Yeah.
And you can follow me at Cocky Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. Final Third Cigar. Follow the Final Third podcast on YouTube and podcast, and we will definitely see you next week. Get out there and try your local distilleries, man.
Please do.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
See ya. Did you hit the outro? Okay. I couldn't hear it.